or at least our mics are the same volume. It's hard for me to figure out on StreamYard. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody.
Oh, hello.
We're live with my friend Aaron from Aaron Loves America. We definitely got to get your Instagram page up here in the pinned comment while we're doing this, of course.
Oh, aren't you a sweetheart?
And happy Veterans Day, everyone
yeah.
out there. I know we got plenty of vets in the chat. Let's get this. Knock some of these administrative things out first. Started. Aaron, how's your Veterans Day?
Man, it's great. It's really good. We just vibed out today. I did all the dad stuff. I picked up, there's a raw milk and egg dealer, essentially. Like you can put your order in online and then you go pick it up at this random CrossFit gym in downtown Vegas. It is fantastic. They make
a CrossFit gym?
Yeah. I don't know why that's the pickup spot, but it's like, I swear to God, it's like this weird like CrossFit that's class. It looks like one of the old school CrossFit gyms too, so I will give it its credit. But back in a weirdly zoned sort of industrial area, there's just, of course, like a roll-up door, and there's a CrossFit gym.
Yeah.
And they're like,
that's how ours is here too.
Yeah, like in a lobby, essentially in a back room that like walks right. You can see into the main gym from where it is, but they put your stuff right there. You can get farm fresh eggs. We get kimchi. They make all kinds of stuff. It is fantastic.
Nice.
And then eggs and raw whole milk. It is so fire, dude. It's so good.
All right, guys.
But that's what I did today.
How's the volume? Or do me and Aaron sound about the same volume? Let me know now so we can adjust it before we do an entire episode and people go, your volumes are off, which we did last night. How's the volume, ladies and gentlemen? Let me know. Good. Aaron, say something.
Okay. How about me? How do I sound?
All right, we're good.
Hell
very,
yeah,
very good.
Go.
All right. Hey, we're going to kick this thing off. For all of you who are regulars in the channel, you know how this Tuesday stream is conducted. This is a stream for those of us who are all politically homeless, independent, America first, whatever you want to call us. That's where we are here. And we always start stream with a couple of our favorite America first content creators, which is our first, of course, is going to be Andy Frisella, who always has some hot takes, and of course then from Tim Dillon as we start out with some little comedy before we jump.
People elected Donald Trump to clean house. They elected Donald Trump for arrests. They elected Donald Trump for prosecuting treasonous individuals. And yes, I understand they take time, but there hasn't been a single arrest. There hasn't been a single indication that this is what they're seriously going to do. That's pissing people the fuck off. Mm-hmm. And people are starting to say, you know what? Trump didn't tell us the truth. I don't know if that's the truth or not. But I know this, people are getting tired of zero accountability for any of this. Here's the dangerous part about this. When you give grace to someone who will openly destroy you, you're just inviting your own destruction. And that's what's happening here. Because if these people were to ever get in control again, do you think that they're going to have any sort of reservations about arresting or doing anything of what I'm saying? They're going to do exactly that. So it's either them or it's fucking us.
Thoughts on that, Aaron?
They're already doing it. What are we talking about? What are they going to try to do? Hang a 34 count felony on a guy that literally did nothing, try to put him in jail for 710 years to stop him from running as a political opponent. And then when he gets in, an illegal FISA warrant where the president, no kidding, dead to rights, spied on an American president, plus 8 senators. That's called Operation Arctic Frost. All of these things have been happening already. And I love the Republicans. They're so feckless that they can't. Guys, it's already happening. Take the power now while you have it. You want to nuke the filibuster? I don't necessarily agree with it, but go for it. If you have the power to do it, you should do whatever it is that you can because they already do it to you and you know it's going to be 10 times worse coming out of this.
Also, to his point, accountability. All of those things you just mentioned, has anybody been arrested for that? Has Dr. Fauci been brought in to be arrested?
Not even a single interview.
So what the fuck are the Republicans doing?
Clintons didn't even happen. Yeah.
You know what I mean? What do we like? Nothing has been done that we've kind of been promised when it comes to that stuff. And to his point, yeah, that's why fucking so many Republicans are pissed off right now. We expected accountability and we got nothing. All right. And then, of course, a little bit more on the comedy end, or we always start with the Tim Dillon clip.
God, I love Tim Dillon. He's so good.
There we go.
People don't want to be billionaires. People want a house, a family, a little retirement plan, some money in the bank if there's an emergency. They want health care. They want some kind of steady job. They want a community with people that share their values. They're getting none of that right now. They're getting none of that. They're getting Kris Jenner's third head. Kris Jenner has a third head. And everybody's excited about it. People will tell you, don't have any of those things, will tell you that they like Kris Jenner's new head. or they're excited that Taylor Swift, a billionaire, is going to marry Travis Kelce, the man who was birthed by Pfizer. And people have to live vicariously now through that. Why are the kids turning on the engines of propaganda? Number one, they're too smart. The technology is there. They know they're being lied to. Here's number two. You're taking all of the things away from them. People don't.
So, I mean, great points there, I think, right?
Yeah, you know, I think people. I had a long discussion with a good friend, Brandon from I Came with Fire today. We have long discussions on things we disagree with. This is one
I'm
of them.
going on
and
a show. I was supposed to be on a show tomorrow, but I can't. But I'll be on it next week.
Oh, dude, it's such a good time. Brandon and Chris are awesome dudes. I love their show. I've been on it a bunch of times. They're great. You guys are going to crush it, even if you don't like. Brandon's really smart. So is Chris, and they love to go back and forth. But like same as with us, basically. There's like no hard feelings. You could tell me I'm a fuckhead. I get it. Like I probably agree. So same sort of vibe. But you know, it's one of these things. Looking at them, like you got to be able to read the tea leaves here. The kids, he's exactly right. Like this young generation of Zoomers, like my son's age, that 18-year-old we were talking about beforehand, bro.
Yeah, mine's 15.
You do not know where these kids are going. You do not know how hard this pendulum is swinging back. And like you have no clue.
I tell people this. We talked about it. We did a whole entire live stream on Nick Fuentes, who he really is, and that was my point. Is like you guys don't understand who his demographic is. The young Gen Z male is based. They're edgelords. They're going to say fucking crazy shit and they're smart. Yep. And so that's where when you got the Mark Levines of the world pounding their fists, you know, 70-year-old Fox News boomers that can't understand why these kids are so pissed off. And it's like, well, different generation.
Well, the other thing that they don't understand is that these kids do not care. They grew up in their formative years 10 years ago, getting called every name in the book, being told that they were evil, literally
racist.
marginalized. Like 10 years ago is when they took over Evergreen. If you remember, this all started, the crazy campus takeovers and all that other stuff. It started at Evergreen in 2013 to 2015 with Brett Weinstein and his wife. That was 10 years ago. That's when these kids were 12, 13, 14, 15. These kids have been downtrodden their entire lives, and they do not care what you call. Like Mark Levin saying the nastiest thing about Nick Fuentes. He's like, I don't care.
I've got a clip of him literally saying that exact thing here later.
These kids do not care. You cannot shame them. You cannot talk down. I'm disappointed in you. They're like, so they don't care. They do not care. And the older generation of guys, the guys that are getting phased out by this new generation, the Nick Fuentes kind of like age group, they cannot read the room, Rob. They cannot read the fucking room.
And talking about somebody, one of the most prominent figures who is being literally phased out by someone in that generation, Ben Shapiro, with the most epic, I think this might be one of the most meteoric burn-ins of a career I've ever seen in the political commentary world, or really just the content creation space. I mean, this guy's gone 2016. I mean, you were probably a fan of Ben Shapiro. I was a fan. I don't know if you were or not, but like 2016, I feel like everybody in conservative politics 100%. Loved Ben Shapiro. Yep. And 10 years later, he's one of the most hated and least respected people in conservative politics. And we're going to look at some clips of why, because I'm going to take us down a little trip on memory lane of who he really is. We kind of forget
that you don't remember
who he really is. So let's actually start looking at some of these clips of things he's said in the past. Very anti-Trump, by the way. I think a lot of people forget about that.
Ben Shapiro saying this about President Trump.
You don't like Donald Trump. And I was wondering.
You noticed, yeah.
I was wondering.
To be clear, for people who don't know my opinion on Donald Trump, 2 nights ago on Megyn Kelly, I called him a smoking garbage heap of human debris.
I was wondering if the general election comes down to Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, why shouldn't conservatives vote Donald Trump? And if there's no one on the ballot for us, what should we be doing this election?
Okay, so this is a great question, and it's probably the question I get the most now. So I've said that I am a never Trump person, meaning I will not vote for him in a primary, I will not vote for him in a general. The reason for this is because I fully understand the argument. People on the right think that Hillary is guaranteed to be awful, and Trump may or may not be awful, but he'll probably be better than Hillary. Okay, I'm not sure I grant even the premise, because I think that Donald Trump is fully authoritarian, and I think that Donald Trump doesn't think through his policies. I think he does what's politically convenient for him.
All right, we're not going to watch all that. His voice gets grating, but to the point, he hates Donald Trump, and he's always hated
does.
Donald Trump.
He was
But
pro DeSantis.
you know why but he loves
he campaigned
in
for
2024.
DeSantis.
Yeah. But he does love Trump now in this term, which is interesting how that shift has Lindsey Graham, Mark Levine, Ben Shapiro, JD Vance, Marco Rubio. We can go down the line. It's a cabinet of never Trumpers now. What's your thoughts on that? How did that happen?
I think it's just aging out, right? Like there's this weird thing both in politics and in, pop culture that's surrounding politics is it skews so old, and the people that should have given up power and stopped talking about 10 years ago never did. So they're still in the seats in both Congress and kind of this space. Well, now there's this watershed moment where it really is enough of a generational divide that it's going to push some people out. It's funny to watch you banded together because notably Matt Walsh, he's not playing that game. He's remaining.
We're going to talk about
neutral.
him too here in a second.
I know. So Matt is giving me hostage vibes over at Daily Wire.
We're literally going to talk about him being.
No, I'm telling you, it's such like
blink
a weird
twice,
thing,
Matt
man.
Walsh. Blink twice.
Tell me you're okay, dude, because you just see like how everything else went. Like Candace,
he's just dead
went her
behind
way
the
and-
eyes, man.
Oh,
Every
yeah.
time you see him on that 4-way panel with Shapiro, Clavin, and I think I forget the other one, Knowles maybe. They have that 4-way panel, and he just sits there.
It was uncomfortable. The last one that they did in person, I think it was a backstage event for maybe one of the elections or something. But I remember watching it just going, Matt looks so uncomfortable. He looks like he doesn't, just his body language looked like he did not want to be there. So
just giving up.
Yeah. Anyway,
I think he's locked into a contract. I think that's me and Ian Carroll talked about that. I think he's locked into a contract he literally can't get out of right now.
I mean, that would make sense. If you have to stay to satisfy the contract, that's fine. But, to wrap it up, like, I think it's just a generational move. It's time for, there's all these generations where, the greatest generation eventually moved on. The boomers, though, they've stuck around for freaking ever. And where Gen X,
they won't go away.
Right. And
I shouldn't
Gen
say
X
that
really,
because my parents are still alive and I love them to death. But as a generation, they're fucking everybody right now.
You really are. Yeah. So just like, let's get out of the way. Let's turn it over. Let's get it down to Gen X where it's supposed to be, and then on to the millennials and go from there. But yeah, so I think there's just this divide, but it's fun to see who aligns across what lines, because as again, is your last topic we're going to get to, there seems to be some very clear through lines as to why everybody's supporting one side versus another. So.
All right, guys, quick poll. I want to see what you guys think for these shows. Do you guys want the super chats read at the end of each of the segments? So when we're done with the Epstein case, we do the Epstein super chats, or do you guys want them all read at the very end of the show? Let me know what you guys like just for these shows. Just it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to do what you guys want because this isn't a democracy. Yeah, Tasty Gains is great, but let me know what you guys think. All right, and let's look at some other things that this guy has said recently. Just said this, which if you want to be the most dislikable person on the goddamn planet, especially to young people, you should say this.
If you're a young person and you can't afford to live here, then maybe you should not live here. I mean, that is a real thing. Yeah, I know that we've now grown up in a society that says that you deserve to live where you grew up, but the reality is that the history of America is almost literally the opposite of that. The history of America is you go to a place where there is opportunity. And if the opportunities are limited here and they're not changing, then you really should try to think about other places where you have better opportunities. If you're a young...
So, yeah, young people, 22 years old, you just graduated college, you got $100,000 in student loan debt. You can't find a job because the labor market's fucking absolutely destroyed, and you're making $20 an hour working at some place you didn't mean to, even though you do have a 4-year degree. You should just move to a different country. That's Ben Shapiro's take, Aaron. Do you think you're going to garner a lot of support with comments like that?
Rarely do I see him phrase and talk this stupidly, and that's saying something. I was one of those early Ben Shapiro guys. That's how I started getting, that's how that was my enter into the whole podcast space. Was there was this kid on campus that was debating people. Ben was a lot younger. I watched a couple of his YouTube videos, and here I am. So I get it. Like, all of that aside, he sounds like a retard. That is the dumbest thing. It's so easy to pick apart. It's so easy you don't even have to try to spin it. It's just straight up retarded. Like, yeah, the affordability word, I get it. We're trying to stay away from it. Like, we're trying to make a dirty word like DEI or whatever we're not supposed to talk about, right?
Yeah, but it's a real issue for young people and all people.
Exactly. And that's the problem is they cannot read the room. They're like, oh, well, just pull yourself up by your bootstraps. No, motherfucker, you guys inflated the housing market. You're talking about buying a house in 1990 at $52,000 for 2,500 square square feet in Barberton, Ohio, right?
And now it's
then
worth
owning that
$1.5 million.
exactly.
You know?
And you've grown
Yeah.
along with it. You maybe have 2 or 3, shut the fuck up. You guys cause the market that is stopping them. It's providing a barrier to them. And whatever party figures out how to actually talk about that in some real way, Mamdani and free buses and everybody gets free.
And you know what? We're going to talk about exactly that when we get to Democrats, of why Mamdani won the election. We'll get to that, but I mean, you pretty much explained it. You pretty much took the whole segment out of it right there. But
sorry, man. Yeah,
but I mean, that's the truth, you know.
Yeah.
So
they just can't. And that's the thing, is they cannot connect, and it's a resounding theme, right? Like, why are all the podcasters getting phased out? Because they can't read the room. They don't understand why the kids are upset and why they're mad at them and why they can't get a job or they can't afford a house. And also, and it's not the avocado toast. Like, that shit is dead. Like, you guys caused this thing. They just can't get it.
Speaking of our friend Matt Walsh, who looks like a goddamn hostage, let's take a look at him just having the Catholic faith just made fun of by a bunch of Jays right in front of his face as he sits there deadpanned, to Aaron's point, looking like he's literally probably chained to a radiator.
It being a dark joke about the Vatican or not, but it was a good one.
I actually am impressed that the Catholics are actually getting nicer. I mean, I actually like Matt, which is as opposed to these guys. And it is getting to be, it's like the Vatican except for straight people. It's so it's
wow.
it's really
oh my God.
It being a dark joke.
Yeah, dude, bunch of Jays calling Catholics gay as Matt Walsh sits there.
I would just be mad as a guy. Oh.
I mean, think about that. Look, his face is just like you said. Just, I'm glad I had that clip ready from what you literally just talked about, because that was the perfect example of it.
It just yeah, it's crazy, and it's crazy to watch the downfall too, and the fact that he's out there still making good content. You know, Brett Cooper is the other one that kind of left, and she even came out to say, much the same thing. And Brett Cooper,
she's getting attacked because she just told Randy Fine's fat ass to go back to Israel, and now they're pulling out every stop. They're pulling out Sean Ryan. When she was on Sean Ryan, she made a comment about seeing a medium because she wanted to interact with her dead brother, and now they've pulled that out of the file. And they're putting it all over Twitter to attack her for witchcraft. She's not a real Christian. Brett Cooper, the nicest, most non-confrontational content creator on the internet, is now the recipient of the insane political attacks from the same group of people because she just noticed.
There's only how dare she? There's only 2 people that you really can't attack over there because they're the nicest people, and the other one is Isabel Brown that works on with Dave Rubin. She had she
the
is
nicest
also
people ever.
The nicest 2 people, and they just talk about politics and stuff. If you ever attack them, you're like, wow, you're a real piece of shit. That is the one you're attacking, the nicest human. She's never done anything wrong to anybody.
I want to talk about Ben Shapiro is the big one right now, refusing to debate anyone while he goes on CNN. He goes on every podcast he can find to cry about Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes, but and Candace Owens, but won't debate them. Then also Mark Levine is another one who Tucker Carlson, if you didn't see this, just called out for a debate. And Mark Levine said, he's refusing to debate Tucker Carlson because Tucker Carlson is a Nazi. Is this not the biggest pussy intellectual shit you've ever seen in your life? These guys these mouthpieces, especially Ben Shapiro, who spent all his time debating 18-year-old dipshit kids on college campuses. Now that he's getting called out by serious intellectuals, like, you can say, have your feelings you want about Tucker, Candace, and Nick. 3 people way smarter and better, more well-spoken than Ben is. And he's just non-existent. They're refusing to debate. What's your thoughts on that? Would you not? And Matt Tardio said the same thing last night. I wouldn't debate Nick Fuentes because he's a Nazi. And I told him, you wouldn't debate Nick Fuentes because you're a pussy. That's the truth.
Yeah. No, because you get bodied. I mean, people do not understand who Nick Fuentes is. They don't understand. Again, the style is completely different. That's why people won't have Nick Fuentes on the show. The scrambling to the moral high ground of this nonsense of like, well, I am now honest. Like, now I'm telling you who it is that you can and can't platform it because you had a guy that I don't approve of. Now I'm going to. That's the reason why I won't. No, it's because you're scared. That's it. This is just nonsense. And doing that, that's just be like, no, I don't want to debate you and call it good and take your licks and go on.
For Ben, it's more than that. Did you see this? He canceled his interview with PBD because PBD interviewed.
So when we had BB, I would say death threats at an all-time high, no question. when BB came up. Then they agree, all right, Ben wants to come on the podcast. Then when I said, I want to have Nick on, I looked at the booking team.
He called it.
After Ben was confirmed.
Yep.
I said,
he's a smart guy.
If they cancel, it's because of me agreeing to have Nick on. Great. We have Nick on. I show the clips. We have the conversations. Everything takes place. Fair interview. You sound like a racist here. You sound like this here. Why are you dropping this word? So he's kind of like, even manning up. 2 weeks later, Ben Shapiro cancels.
And he wasn't easy on Nick. He was way, way harder on Nick than Tucker was. He drilled Nick that whole interview. He gadded him on that.
Oh yeah. No, that's standard right there. I mean, if anybody on the left got that treatment from PBD, it would be a dumpster fire. The fact that Nick was able to at least hold his own or own up.
Yeah, he held his own. Yeah.
And it was very positive. What you saw from it is and I told somebody this the other day. I'm like, whoever, if you just hate Nick Fuentes right now, you just hate him to your core, or if you absolutely love him and you think everything is doing is great, you're both going to be wrong in about 6 months. Yes. And I'm excited to watch everybody's evolution on this. And because I'm calling it now, I'm putting my stake in the ground. People that love him and people that hate him, you guys are going to end up meeting somewhere way closer to the middle on this in 6 months, because you guys have no idea what this is. You cannot read the room.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. That's what a lot of things I like about what Nick says. We talked about a lot of things I don't like, and those are the things I know that are come to head. The Christian, the hardcore Christian nationalism, the talk about women, all of that. That's the big negatives that's got to get that is going to be grating. And then the people that hate him, it's like, if you actually listen to a lot of the things he says about being America first, it's hard to disagree with a lot of the America first from a policy perspective. But I just want to put up a meme here real quick of these two, which Alex Jones put, which is one of the funniest memes ever. It says, breaking official wedding phoner of Mark Levine and Lindsey Graham leased. It's okay. Now come cuddle with me. You can play Israel and I'll play Iran. Drop a nuke on me, baby. And
most disgusting.
It's gross. But Lindsey Graham is definitely that's not that inaccurate. But
no,
I want to play a clip, because you talked about the young generation. They just don't give a shit, right? And this is Nick's response to Mark Levine, just legitimately not giving a shit.
We're going to just say no. And Shapiro said this on Twitter. He said, no to the Groypers, no to this, no to you, no to your fucking lies, no to your smear campaign, no to your Holocaust religion, no to Israel first and the Israel lobby, your wars, no to your whiny fucking voice, no to the Daily Wire, no to Mark Levin, Laura Loomer, you fucking psychos, no to all of that. And on the contrary, yes to America, yes to Christ, yes to our people, yes to Western civilization, yes to Europeans that built this country, that explored the world, that founded this country and planted a flag for Christ. Yes to that. Yes to America first. Yes to the future. Yes to a future for Americans that we can actually get excited about.
That goes hard.
I told you when you killed Charlie that you were going to get Nick. Tell me what about that? Tell me who isn't going to resonate with that political.
You're right. You did say that. That is and that's exactly what they got.
You killed the one that wanted to sit there and talk to you. You killed the one that wanted to debate you and go on your little college campuses and try to get you to think differently as a 21-year-old dumbass with no experience. You tried that. We don't know. Now you get what's next. Like, you killed that guy. You don't get that guy anymore. Now you get Nick and you get Milo and you get some other people that are willing to go ahead and have some hard conversations and lead these disaffected young men into something other than ruin.
And keep in mind, you get them over the next 10 years. They're on the baseline rise to prominence. So as the boomer generation of conservative politic talking heads like Mark Levine literally die out here in the next 10
literally
years,
going,
that's going to take the ascension, whether it be through Nick, Tucker, Candace, all these different people. The Ben Shapiro era, I believe it's dead. I think we're seeing like the beginning of the fall of the Roman Empire when it comes to this neocon, boomer, cancel culture, identity politics, left-wing conservatism, really is what it is. It's almost like 1980s liberalism.
It
right?
is. Yeah. You're
That's
right.
really what they are.
And I think people are just getting wise to it. And that's how you can tell it's like we've reached the full travel of this little track that we're on here, because we're sick of it from both sides. If this happened 5 years ago, we would completely ignore the fractures inside of the GOP. We have a whole section on tonight's show about how Republicans are straight retarded. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep myself under an hour talking about it, because they're idiots. They're just, it's so stupid the last like 6 months. I just don't know what's happening. So
But you also go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, that's it. But that's to speak. I like it now. People are like recognizing it on both sides. They're like, hey, wait a second. No, I won't tolerate this from either one. You guys do this, and I want you the F out too. We'll primary you before then. Democrats are just learning this lesson. They're talking about primaries for
it's just starting.
For the 8 Democrats across the aisle, they're like, hey, in 2026, you're straight up getting primaried. That threat was out on Politico.
Yeah, I saw that.
However,
luckily none of the 8 are up for re-election in 2026, Aaron, which is also convenient for them.
That's convenient that Schumer got them to go ahead and vote.
For
something that was wildly unpopular, didn't himself, to try to save face, and then went on.
I
Good
know.
job, Chuck.
All right, let's jump into. Actually, we'll hit the super chats real quick, because we're going to jump into the next section, which is the Epstein files. There's some very interesting stuff going on with the Epstein files now that the government's about to reopen, with Thomas Massey, who we're going to talk about this here in a second. We'll get to it in a second, but let's hit these. Code Gray, you don't need to read this out. Okay. Thank you. Let's put it up there. Thank you very much, brother. I'll do what you say. How come 76 kilos of coke was carefully put on a Coast Guard ship and delivered to Miami? Wasn't it blown up in the water? LOL. I don't know about that.
I don't want to waste it. That's number one. I'm not wasteful. That seems like you shouldn't do that.
I don't know. Why did a 7th group major put 70 kilos worth of cocaine in a punching bag and fly it into America on an AC-130 jet? I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do
we
stuff.
all have questions. We all have questions, I guess.
Yeah. Sounds good. Hello from Pompeo Beach, Florida. Welcome. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you. The eyebrow hobbit has lost his audience. The eyebrow Ben Shapiro. That's a good one.
I did see
Little
a post
Ben.
like his yarmulke ever increasing in size.
Dude,
It started off small and now
is.
it's like a whole satellite.
It is.
Hilarious.
Nick Fuentes
Hilarious.
first noticed that. I saw on a show a couple months ago, and I watched him in that clip we just saw. It's eclipsing his entire head. It's like a full baseball hat at this point. I don't know if it's on purpose or if it evolves with him. The more he turns into this, the bigger it naturally gets. Don't clip that. Don't clip me or Aaron doing that, by the way. That's strictly for Anna Kasparian. She's the only one that can get away with that.
Dude, shout out.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm trying to get Anna on my show. I'm talking to her producers. We love Anna on this show, dude.
Anna's fantastic.
Big fans of Anna.
Mm-hmm.
All right, pull the Wizard of Oz curtain. Do you guys believe in the infamous Frazzle Drip video? What's a Frazzle Drip video?
Oh, bro, come on, man. So this is attached to Comet Pizza and all the so it started off with the emails that got leaked, the 13,000 emails, which contained mentions of things like pizza and hot dogs, and why would $30,000 worth of hot dogs need to be flown into DC from Chicago in the dead of night?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, so that the Frazzle Drip video was attached to all of those things. It's highly disturbing. Google it at your own risk. It's one of the darkest parts of the conspiracy world. So there you go. I do believe that it's real. That's my answer. Too much to go into, but I do. I've talked about it too. You can go check it out.
All right. Hope your 5 minutes of fame was worth trashing Rob O'Neill. $25 million lawsuit. Anti-hero Valhalla. Dave, am I in the lawsuit? I haven't ever trashed Rob O'Neill, by the way. I have no
Anti-hero
content on Rob O'Neill.
Anti-hero didn't know they were in the lawsuit either, which was one of the funniest responses I've ever seen. I'm like,
also, yeah.
Who's in a lawsuit?
I told why are you putting me in there? I don't talk.
I don't know.
I've always actually defended Rob almost all the time I've talked about him. So that's weird to put me in there. But to talk about that real quick, because I told Jasmine I would explain how defamation law actually works.
Hi, Jasmine.
Yes, I do actually have an education in that, master's degree in business law and ethics. So this is the way it works and why Rob O'Neill has a 0% chance of ever winning this defamation law case. It's not possible, all right? There's pillars to defamation law. You've got to prove 4 things primarily as the plaintiff, and the burden falls upon you to prove it, okay? So And if you are a public figure as the plaintiff, defamation law becomes almost impossible to win. All right. First thing is the defendant or the person you're suing has to have made a false statement and stated it as fact and knowingly stated it as fact. So what that means is Brent would have had to know that Rob killed OBL, but he purposefully lied about it to his audience, stated Rob not doing it as fact, which obviously I'm pretty sure Brent doesn't believe that he did. So he didn't do it on purpose too. You have to have publication or communication to a third party. Essentially, if I told Aaron, that would be good enough. But obviously, they talked about it on their podcast, so that one would be easy. The next is going to be where the public figure comes in. All right, so a public figure has to prove actual reckless malice on behalf of Brent. So what he has to prove is that Brent knew for a fact Rob O'Neill killed Osama bin Laden, and Brent purposefully and recklessly attacked Rob and defamed him on purpose. That's going to be also impossible to prove for Rob. And then not only that, Rob also would have to prove that he killed Osama bin Laden, which he will not be able to do because he's not going to be able to get the classified information released to a public court. So it's a fun lawsuit to throw up there, but it's also very dangerous because as a plaintiff, he sues for defamation, he loses. Well, now your career's fucked because everybody's going to say, oh, you lost the defamation case. And two, in defamation, the defendant can countersue you for all legal fees. So this is a very, very dangerous game to play, suing for defamation, which, Aaron, as you see, it almost never happens. In the political world, in the talking space, almost nobody ever sues anybody for defamation. Ben Shapiro just came out and said Candace Owens said that Erica Kirk murdered her husband. Straight slander. Megyn Kelly actually came out and apologized for Ben Shapiro saying it on her platform today. But Candace isn't going to sue because they're both public figures. It's impossible to prove. So,
right. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm long-winded on this, guys. But what's really going to happen? I think Rob is trying to posture. So he's putting forward the draft of a lawsuit. And then what I think he's going to do is before he actually goes through with it, he's going to say, oh, I'm not actually going to do it because I don't want to ruin the life of a fellow veteran, even though they treated me so bad. And then he'll be the victim. He'll have proved he was the one that did it, and they'll move on. So that's my long-winded thought about what's actually going on with that, guys. Also, Discovery. Do you really want to go through Discovery on that one? So again, I don't really care. I've never cared about Rob. Like, I know Rob was there. Rob was in the room. To me, that was good enough, dude. The Rob is an actual badass, dude. He's got 2 silver stars. I believe 4 BSMVs. Like, I've never talked shit about Rob on that. I don't care. But at the same time, good luck proving that, homie. It's an uphill battle for a public figure. Anyway, we got a little sidetracked, but that's what, my education that I spent all that time getting that master's degree is worth something, I guess.
That was
worth
yeah.
worth a 1-minute rant on YouTube. The 2 years
it's all
I
profit from
it.
here now. Yeah, with how much return that just got you, now you're just on the green side going up. So good job, man. That was it.
All right, to the Epstein. Oh wait, we've still got a few more of these because that was a my 5 minutes of fame. Yeah, he's going out for me. Did you see me in the lawsuit? You fucking idiot. No. All right, deport IDF, deport APAC founders. Well. My 15-year-old son called Charlie Kirk Drip King and Ben Shapiro total buns.
That is buns is such a great thing. I love just buns. Somebody will text me something and then just put underneath it buns. And I don't know why, but I think I can't possibly use it in like daily speech because nobody would get it. Like the kids are saying it. But when something is buns, that's all you have to say. I don't know why. That just hits. I love it.
Yeah.
It's just buns.
Ben can't help if he's a victim of Dr. Wang's 4-inch surgical scissors. Aaron doesn't know about Dr. Wang on this channel. I'm going to have to explain it to him after. So there's going to be a lot of Dr. Wang jokes, but I'll explain it later, Aaron. It'll take too long to go through. Mom Downey charged $13 a beer at his victory party. Yeah, because he's a fake socialist, dude.
He's a fucking theater kid.
Yeah. Baby boomer, never in my life growing up in the 50s, 60s, and 70s could envision the insanity of today. It's so sad. We need strong. Although, here's the thing. If you grew up in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, the civil rights era, the Vietnam progressive era was pretty fucking crazy.
It was crazy. I always wonder that, like, if I could put myself, I think I've told this even to you before, but I think if I could put myself just in the mind state of being like a kid again and go back to your family and you look and those 45-year-old uncles, you're like, you guys have it together. You guys have it figured out.
Yeah.
And they're just like, and then real now I'm 45 and
Like
I got people to
us?
look at me. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know anything.
No
I'm
idea
an
what I'm doing.
Idiot. But in that same vein, like, I wonder if they ever thought in their political environment, like when Watergate was going on, which was huge, you had Bay of Pigs, you had the stuff, I mean, JFK getting assassinated in that time, the civil rights movement, everything leading up to it.
Martin Luther King, all that was going on then.
The rise of
Vietnam
the left
War.
through hippieism, San Francisco, Ashbury hate, getting into cocaine cowboys, like that entire period.
Kent
right
State,
there was,
literally the military killing college kids on campus.
So I often think, I wonder if they ever thought that it's as crazy as us. And I still go, no, dude, shit is so crazy right now. And I know about way more.
My dad talks about that. Like, he lived through all of it. And he's like, nah, it's fucking crazy, dude. It's crazy right now. It's crazy.
Oh man, if Daddy Valhalla says it, we are
I think
trouble.
though it might be the access to information, right? Like, if they had the internet and social media back then, it probably would have been just as insane, right? That's what makes it different now, is we see all of it. Like, we see.
I saw Charlie get shot
happens.
literally 2 minutes after he got shot.
Yeah,
like 2 minutes. Like, thanks to this death rectangle, I didn't even mean to. I just accidentally saw something that happened less than a minute in real time before I saw it on my phone. We're not supposed to have access to that. It's a mind-blowing concept.
Yep. Plenty of us Gen X Cold War survivors ready to call out old Lady Levine and the eyebrow hobbit on their bullshit. I like the eyebrow hobbit. I'm going to use that in my video. I'm making the fall of Ben Shapiro video tomorrow. I'm going to use the eyebrow hobbit on that.
Get it.
So thanks, guys, for any of the good ones you have. Let me know. I like Matt, but he's insufferable when it comes to Israel. Much better guest today. Well, Aaron Love.
Hey.
You know, Aaron also is just a likable guy in general. You know what I mean? So that also helps. And he's got the correct political opinions, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So.
It's really easy to talk about it. That's why I like each other so much.
Well, yeah, it's really easy to talk to somebody that agrees with your political opinions. So, all right, you literally use the rule literally in every utterance. Literally produce. Literally. Yeah, a lot of people do that. All right, nasty girl here. Should Groypers pursue SF AVSOC?
Sure. Takes all types.
Yeah, I mean, go follow One's Ready if you want to follow anything Air Force AVSOC.
That's nice of you. Yeah, sure.
It's in the pinned comment, actually, or go follow Aaron's channel. When can we hear your spooky gunship story? Must be for Aaron, maybe.
I mean, I have a gunship.
I've got stories. I've got some.
Yeah,
of those
I don't know. I called a live gunship one time. That was awesome. Not many PJs get to do that. It was super sweet. It was training, but it was soup.
Well, that's the great thing about the AC-130 is, like, it doesn't even matter who you are. If you really need to, if you get on the radio, they'll literally just walk you through it. They'll just tell you what you're supposed to say, and they'll just take care of business because they don't even need you to begin with. So
if they can see you with 2 of their high fidelity cameras that cover a lot of ground that I can't say how much of it is, they can find you in that big picture. You're fine. They'll kill everybody around you. You won't even know what's happening. You don't even have to really say it. You're like, help. And then it's just like,
if you just put your strobe on, then
that's it. You're like,
they'll take care of the rest.
Hey, we'll be back shortly. Hold radio traffic. And then you just hear fucking hell unleash. You're like, oh, that's cool.
Yep. I swear Ben's lies like Pocahontas' nose stretching out further till he's wrapped. Yeah, Ben's struggling, man. He's been caught in a lot of really big lies lately. His head is shrinking. I don't know if the head's shrinking or if the hat's growing. I feel like the system continue to win when there's only debate, no action. Thanks to the boomers of Gen Z for not using our 2A when we were kids. Umar, thank you. Cash's girlfriend, $5 million lawsuit. I've seen that. If you haven't seen the video on it, guys, the guy, what's his name? I sent it, actually put it in the group chat. This video is insane. This story, Aaron, have you actually followed what she's suing for? The whole story is fucking insane, guys. It's, I've got it right here. We'll pull it up. You guys should all go watch this later. Aaron, you should too. She's not suing him for defamation for calling him a honeypot. She's suing him for being critical of Israel and tying it in. And she's using Kash Patel's law firm to do it. So she's using the director of the FBI, her boyfriend, to sue him for essentially what is protected speech under the First Amendment. It's absolutely crazy. I watched this whole video earlier at the gym. Slightly offensive. I'm going to put it I'm going to put it up here so you guys can see who it is, so you can watch it later. We're not going to watch it right now because it's long, but this is, oh my God, it's absolutely crazy, guys. Let's pull it up for the guy who asked, because this video right here, let me get it so you guys can see it. So slightly offensive. His video, I just got sued for $5 million for criticizing Israel. Literally, the craziest thing, Aaron. You would think, like, everybody thought, oh, he called her a honeypot, a Mossad honeypot, and all those things. All he did was post a picture of her and Kash Patel on Twitter in response to a comment. He said nothing, no text, no nothing. And so the lawsuit is for insinuating something that he meant. I swear to God, dude, it's the craziest lawsuit I've ever seen.
So it's thought crime. We're in Minority Report now.
It's it's thought crime being carried out by the FBI director, the FBI director's law firm through his girlfriend. That's how fucking crazy this story is, dude.
That, are you tracking the private jet story? So essentially, Kash approved like $60 million worth of private jet flights. Like, I'm sorry, bro, I gave you a long leash. Fire Kash. He's terrible. Get him out there. I don't know what Dan Bongino is doing.
Guys, everybody on my chat, we're well known here for hating Kash Patel more than anybody in the world. Aaron can vouch. Aaron, have I not hated Kash Patel longer than everyone?
Since the beginning of time, you were the first Kash Patel hater. I do not say that like lightly. You were the very first person that hated
hat, dude.
I was like, listen, I'm skeptical of him and whatever else, but I think he could do some good things. And since the very second that his name was mentioned, you were like, fuck that guy, and you would go off
even when I was still like pro Trump and pro Vance and everybody, I was hating.
I will give you your flowers. You have always been that. You've always been the biggest Kash hater that I've ever known in my entire life. Weirdly so.
Even when it probably wasn't even that valid back then, I still.
You hadn't even done anything yet, and you still hated him. He was just a guy that existed at that point that had written a book, and you still hated him.
I knew, dude. I got a good judge of character, man.
You do.
Grew up in the 60s, never realized that there was a war. See, that's what's crazy, man, without just access to seeing it. Mom Donnie's going to replace police with social workers straight out of South Park. Yeah, that's going to go great, dude. It's going to go awesome in New York. It's going to solve everything. Brandy and Billy podcast, cameraman from 1110. I'll have to look into that. You could have shut down Matt by just asking this: what does Ben Shapiro taste like IRL? God, dude. Clearly that guy invites APAC handler to his family parties. Come on. Do you own any shirt with sleeves? Not very many, man. It's hot as shit in here in my house. So I'm sweating half the time.
Do you have AC?
Yeah, we do. But the office I'm in, all the lights and everything, like overpower the AC. And I can't, like, if I jack the AC up, the rest of the family freezes to death. So,
all
right, let's jump into it. We're going to jump into Epstein. Okay.
Here we go.
I like this clip actually from Candace talking about what radicalized so many people when it comes to sort of the split in supporting MAGA. And I think she kind of nails it on this one. This is what it was for me.
MAGA got fractured, not when Tucker Carlson interviewed Nick Fuentes, but when Donald Trump looked at us in our faces and said, Epstein who? That's when it was game over. Because Israel First is a cancer cell. It is a cancer cell, left or right, to everything and everyone that wants to play around with it. It is a radical psychosis that has manifested itself within both parties. And it is so radical that, in case you missed it yesterday, they started attacking Brett Cooper.
Yeah, we talked about that. But what's your thoughts on that, Aaron? I mean, obviously, we talked about it back when it happened, and we were both furious, right?
Yep. Yeah. So if you guys don't know my political bent, like, people assume that I'm just this pro-Trump MAGA dude. Listen, I'm pro nobody. They're all -1s to start. They don't even start at 0. 0 is neutral. If you're a politician, you're a -1. If you do a good thing, you're a 0, and so on.
That's a great way to look at it.
Like, that's it, right? Like, I should watch you like a hawk. You're a public official. You should know nothing about my life. I'm a private citizen. Whatever. I have given this admin a long fucking leash, but everything you're describing. But everything that you're describing,
seen my rants in the Instagram to Aaron, like, what the fuck, Aaron? Stop supporting him.
And I'll like, listen, man, I think this ideology is better than any other ideology. So I'm going to support the people that can get me closest to that ideology. And I don't need to like them or their tools. I want to use them for what they're good for. And then I want to go on. I don't have a favorite hammer. I don't have a hammer that disappoints me. That's not a thing. But these motherfuckers, everything you're saying about why we lost, where the fuck are the Epstein files? You ran on it. You campaigned on it. We elected you for it. We've had a clear mandate. We've supported all your other dumb stuff. We've allowed all this other stuff. You owe us. Where are they? And there's no answer. When he was like, Epstein who? Everybody's like, nope, that's it. I'm done. I'm good.
And
I don't want to deal with this anymore.
Here's Trump's worst nightmare, who's going to explain, and he's about to be the one that forces this through the vote on what's happening here.
2 reasons he's flipped. One, his rich and powerful friends who've donated to him or go to his dinner parties. Like, he doesn't want to embarrass them. And and they may, in fact, not even be guilty of a crime. They may just be very embarrassed that they were having extramarital sex, with these women,
which is 100% true.
So that's one thing, but I think there's also the intelligence aspect of this that goes even deeper. Maybe Trump is on one plane and he's thinking, I can't embarrass my friends, but there may be people in the administration who are career people who are thinking on another plane. They're like, well, let's convince Trump he's going to embarrass his friends, when in reality, what we're trying to do is protect our sources and methods, which may involve sex trafficking.
That's an interesting way to look at that.
Yeah. Well, and
maybe Trump being sort of coerced into keeping them shut down for reasons like that he's not even aware of. And I'm not going to give Trump any leeway there, but I think Thomas Massey is tracking this far more than any of the rest of us are. So what's your thoughts there?
Well, and there's another wrinkle into this that I hadn't, sort of been aware of the other day. I was listening to Thomas Massey, and one of the things that he said, he either says it later in that video or in a subsequent video, but there are people that are going to find out their friends are dead to rights pedophiles.
Right. Yes.
There are people that do not know this about people that they work with. And that is, I guarantee, in any sort of tribe or any sort of enclosed environment, imagine inserting that sort of dynamic into your space, that you may be working with somebody that, no kidding, flew to an island to do that to kids. Imagine what that would do.
7 guys in the company hallway are pedophiles one day. And
that you eat lunch with, that you talk with, that you shared intimate details about your life with, that you spent hours of your life with more than your family in probably most regards. Get out of here. I'd be livid. Yeah. So there's that,
right. It could crumble the entire thing.
It's going to bring everything down, and that's why it's not coming out. And that's why it's disappointing to see when somebody that campaigned on it and said that they were going to put it out for whatever reason. And there's a host of reasons that we can put out there. Though the heavens may fall, like Ruat Just Fatita, though the heavens may fall, let the light shine in and disinfect. Go.
And to your point, from where we started to where we are now, let's take a little trip down memory lane. And look, whether you like Jon Stewart or don't, I do. I think Jon Stewart's funny. This is some of his better work when it comes to comedy.
Here's the OG conspiracy theorist Glenn Beck at his excitement for Trump's beginning of the second term.
The only thing I care about is the scandal of the pedophiles, and in the next 10 days, you're going to see the Epstein file released. Day number 1, Kash Patel walks in. By the end of the day, it will be released.
Day 1, deep state exposed. Oh, I'm sorry, Trump's in the rough. I'll get right on that ball drop.
What the left is saying, and some people now on his team are saying, he's in the report. With 15-year-olds? Really? Do you actually believe that?
I have seen some clips that would be consistent with did buy a teenage beauty pageant. But listen, Beck, you're the master at making connections, so let's see you unconnect it.
I mean, let's be honest. 20 years ago, if this was like, hey, he was on an island with 25-year-old models, I would be going, probably. Okay. 15, 16-year-olds, that's not Donald Trump. It's not Donald Trump. I don't believe that.
You didn't say.
Just wait.
You think?
I say that's no way that's true.
Just no reasoning. Just nope, that can't be true. No,
and this is the leader of the conservative movement. This is a guy that's been in the conservative podcast game that supposedly has good opinions on stuff and he's been right a bunch of times. Like I've liked Glenn Beck stuff, but that's just Everything about that was terrible. Dumpster fire. Imagine him talking to Nick Fuentes about something.
And that's why, like, to John's point there, he said Glenn Beck's the master at figuring things out. Let's see him unfigure it out. And it's just no.
The fact that he was just like that 20 years
refuse.
ago, would Trump be with underage girls 20 years ago? Yeah, no, absolutely. But now, no. What?
That's the argument.
What did you just say? Did you think that was going to help?
I know. Anyway, great clip. Also, have you seen this? As we're talking about this, it looks like Giselle Maxwell's about to be pardoned. So that's
the
cool.
Co-conspirator of the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein is seeking a pardon from President Trump, according to a whistleblower who spoke to House Democrats. Ghislaine Maxwell is currently serving a 20-year prison sentence. A House Judiciary Committee ranking member is calling on President Trump to reject her request. A Trump administration spokesperson says the White House, quote, does not comment on potential clemency requests. Maxwell's commutation efforts come amid a spate of recent pardons and commutations that Trump has issued, including for former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani.
So now the excuse, the White House says we're not going to comment on that request for a pardon. Aaron, you know what I think is going to happen? I think the second the 2026 elections are over, he pardons Maxwell. I think they're going to keep the Epstein files buried and that she gets pardoned immediately after that would be my guess. That's just a hunch I have.
It's going to be interesting, especially, I mean, you know, the incumbent party's only won the midterm elections 2 times. Happened for Bush after 9/11.
It ain't happening this time.
Yeah. So, you know, to look and see, what a Donald Trump, you know, lame duck sort of presidency looks like. I mean, it's going to be a lot of true social. He's not going to be able to get anything done. You know, they're going to push for impeachment for one reason or another, just because past behavior is the easiest indicator of future behavior. And since you already did it twice, if you have the House and the Senate, you're going to impeach him again. So I don't know what we're talking about. And that's kind of like the earlier point of the one that we hit in the beginning. Like, this stuff is coming. Like, unless you get JD Vance into power in 28 over Gavin Newsom,
I don't think it's going to happen.
You are proper effed. You are in some trouble.
And I mean, Nick Fuentes has already made it clear when JD Vance, he said, if you come out and disavow the Groypers, we will use everything in our power to make sure you don't get elected. That's millions of young male conservatives. And they will lockstep with Nick Fuentes if he says, do not vote for JD Vance. And you're not going to win without the young vote. Neither side. If Gavin loses the young vote, if JD uses the Gen Z vote, as we go forward, becomes a bigger and bigger and bigger portion of the populist vote as the boomers die out.
I wonder too, but there's a decline in Zoomers, and then Alpha. Gen Alpha is going to be even smaller than Zoomers are, and Zoomers were smaller than the ones ahead of them. I can't remember who that is, the millennials.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. You know, in my hopeful heart of hearts, maybe there's some world where Nick Fuentes ends up breaking bread with JD Vance. JD Vance,
I think there is
Palantir.
I think there is.
I mean, that's the. Imagine if that happens. Imagine. I mean,
think there is. I think he's actually alluded to that, but he's got to disavow Israel. I think that's Nick's point. Is JD Vance has to fully disavow publicly.
Yeah.
And I don't think he can do it.
Well, not with Peter Thiel and Palantir.
Yeah, with Peter Thiel.
Like, what are we talking about? Like, what are we talking about here?
Right.
Like, he's one of the biggest proponents of bringing Palantir in, and there's no way he decouples that relationship, even if it was kayfabe, and he somehow put out that he hated him, and Peter Thiel and him were still good. They'd have to. You think the ADL wouldn't go after Peter Thiel after he said that about Peter in an open forum, and then Peter was still working with him behind closed doors? Like, they'd know about that in a second.
Yeah.
So, and they would immediately castrate Peter Thiel over it. So I don't know what we're like. People again can't understand how this stuff interplays, and then they say dumb shit, and they don't understand how this could actually swing. You know, really, 12 years worth of your life, as opposed to 8 years worth of a Democrat coming in with Gavin Newsom here in 2028. Like,
all right, I know Aaron doesn't have. I don't know if you have much time left. Do you want to hit?
I got about 10
Democrats, or do you want to do Republicans?
I'm happy to do Republicans, man. People aren't expecting that from me anyway, and I am sick of these MFs. These guys are pissing me off.
We're gonna start Republicans with somebody who's just been endorsed by Donald Trump and the voice of Republicans, so that we can really get a good sense of where we're starting from, and that's our everybody's favorite neocon.
So I just want to say I feel good about the Republican Party. I feel good about where we're going as a nation. We're killing all the right people. And we're cutting your taxes.
That shit is so washed.
Trump is my favorite president. We've run out of bombs. We didn't run out of bombs in World War II.
There you go.
Oh, my
Lindsey
God.
Graham loves Donald Trump, is his favorite president ever, as he talks about how awesome it is that we've run out of bombs dropping them on Palestinian children. So that's fantastic, Lindsey. The face of the party now, I guess. I'm not gonna. I don't know who still likes Lindsey Graham or who ever did. I mean, he's now, Trump endorsed him, and he endorsed Randy Fine. He endorsed these people.
Yeah.
Never Trump or Lindsey Graham.
Yeah.
How do we get here?
I don't know. He's just the avatar for everything that everybody hates. Like his smarmy little smiling. You know he's making money off of these defense deals. You know he doesn't give a shit about human life in general. And that sounds like such a liberal or a whatever thing to say. But evil men should not be in charge of fucking the military either. They should not. You shouldn't be sending me off to war to line your own pockets when you don't have skin in the game. That is party agnostic. That's just bull. And he constantly laughs about it, and it makes me so upset. Like he is the avatar. Like he cannot read the room. Oh, we're just, we ran out of we're killing the right people and we're lowering your taxes. Bitch, prices are still high from the 2020 surge.
Also, you're
Inflation is at
not
an all-time.
Yeah, go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
No, it's fine. It's like inflation's at an all-time high. Housing is wildly unaffordable unless you're an employee of BlackRock who's buying up all the freaking houses and then renting them out for 750%. It's nonsense. He has no clue what's going on. It's like in the Arrested Development show, and they asked the mother, they're like, "Hey, how much is a banana?" And she's like, "I don't know, $8."
Yeah,
like that's how out of touch these people are. They just have no clue. And Lindsey Graham is that politician. Like he is that neocon. And unfortunately, guys like Ted Cruz are right inside that same boat.
Yes,
like they're
Ted's lost the plot. He's he's just a Lindsey Graham little clone at this point. Which I used to be a Ted Cruz fan. 2016, I was a Ted Cruz guy.
Yeah.
And he's just the turn into the same thing they all have.
But once you see it, you can't unsee it. Like we saw it on the left a long time ago. You were able to pick those people. You progressive, climate, you insider trading. Like you could pick out like the flavors of those people right away because that's who you talk to. But now that we recognize those same traits in the Republican, which is supposed to be our side, like no, absolutely not. When I see that nonsense, like you can name off 5 people that are just the exact same and you don't like, and you're like, once I see that pattern, I can never unsee it, and then you see it right away. Lindsey Graham is the worst.
There's some good clips explaining kind of this exact thing moving into the Republican Party, and it's not just me, it's not just Aaron. There's so many people and that were MAGA that are completely disaffected, and I think this is Ian Smith Fitness had a really good one here.
All right, let's talk serious here for a second about the results of the elections yesterday. MAGA got dragged, and quite frankly, they fucking deserve it because
Democrats got elected.
You have a president who is now endorsing people like Lindsey Graham.
They're all Democrat states.
Anti-MAGA from the fucking beginning. And Randy Fine, who is just a absolute war hawk, who says stuff like, he wants all the children in Gaza dead or whatever he said and turn it into a parking lot. Guess what? The average American isn't on board with these things. And the average American wants just their lives back. They want 2016, 17, 18, 19 back. They want to live without spending every dollar on every paycheck. The average American can't go to the grocery store without spending $100. And even for people making good money, that adds up. The average home buyer now is over the age of 60. And
wow,
that problem is largely ignored. It gets blamed on illegal immigrants, which is funny because it's really BlackRock, State Street, and all these places. But the administration won't talk about that. They'll just pretend like, we're making progress, and we get all these little tiny wins. They're like the low-hanging fruit. To sort of placate us. We get some cool videos from ICE, on the social media platforms of the administration, but we're not seeing mass deportations like we were promised. We had no transparency in government. We've been lied to about the Epstein bullshit. That was supposed to be a thing, and it's not. It's a hoax, apparently. People are tired of it. People are tired of all this, and you're hemorrhaging people who were pro-Trump.
There you go. Thoughts on that?
Yep, crushed it. Like that's. That's it.
Anybody in the chat like thinking, no, that's not right? I mean, that was kind of just like lined it up and knocked it down there. I didn't know that the average home buyer is over 60 years old. That
I
is
heard
not
that stat on Tim Pool the other day. There's another crazy stat, and I can't remember what it was. It had something to do with population decline or something like that. I can't remember what the other stat was, but that and the over 60 first time home buyer thing, like the average age is over
so
60,
crazy, dude.
blew
Like,
my mind. I was like, holy crap. Yeah.
and here's the problem. The biggest problem with that, Aaron, and I mean, guys like me and you were lucky. Like, I shouldn't say lucky. We served, we had access to VA home loan and things like that. And 10 years ago, it was a lot. Like, I bought my first house in Washington outside JBLM for $275,000. I mean, that same house is worth like $800,000 now.
Oh yeah,
right.
At least.
So what young person like? And if our big thing we talk about depopulation. Well, part of starting a family, a lot of that was having a home, because starting a family in a shitty 1-bedroom apartment, like the young generation's not going to do that. And so I think that's a bigger problem than people think. Like the fact that the average home buyer is 60 years old is a way bigger problem for the future of America than we really are thinking about when you start thinking about it in those terms.
It's going to be acute. It's not chronic, because do you want to know how you get no kidding civil unrest and no kidding civil war level stuff? Is you take people away from their connection to what they think is making themselves a place in the world. So they can't buy a home. Then they have to rent for the entire time that they're living paycheck to paycheck. They've got no money. You're constantly telling them you're making it better and you're not. Everybody's always lied to them. They can't find any way to connect with each other because we're disconnected through social media. And then you have a whole bunch of people that can't have kids because it would financially break them. So they make that choice. They end up not having kids. They're a disaffected person that doesn't have a tribal community or some sort of other greater thing, church community, rec league, who cares, to have like a support system. And then they start going and doing wacky things. Like they have all this time to go protest at stupid Antifa rallies, and they have all this extra time to do these things. And it's not good for America. And if you wanted to so foment, as it were, that's how I would start to do it. And it's part of a larger problem, and it's going to become a real issue because there's a tipping point.
And here's the solution, Aaron, that just got put forward. I'm sure you saw this: 50-year mortgages. So,
just get rid of taxes. What are we doing? Just get rid of taxes. No more tax. Just no more tax. Period. Called no flat tax. Jesus, just nothing.
I went on a whole rant about this last week, Aaron. This exact same thing on our channel.
50-year mortgage. Why? That's so nobody fucking cares, man. How is a 50-year mortgage going to help me buy groceries?
What's the difference, Aaron, between a 50-year mortgage and renting a home? Anything?
I have no.
You don't own it.
Nothing. Yeah, you don't. Like the point of a 30-year mortgage is
the fact that you have to actually fix your own problems, because the guy who owns the house isn't going to come fix your dishwasher.
Right.
It almost seems like it's worse than renting.
Well, people talk about that all the time. I completely disagree with it. The people aren't stupid, but it's a stupid thing. They're like, oh, you just rent forever, and they'll do all this math, and they'll be like, yeah, you never have to buy another dishwasher. I'm like, that's the dumbest of all time. But that sort of propaganda is what's convincing people that they're like, oh yeah, you don't have anything, you'll have nothing and you'll be happy, right? You'll sit in your corner on your VR and you'll eat the bugs. I'm just not down with that sort of thing.
Now, we talked about kind of the movement away from America First and MAGA from Trump. I think that's the problem, is MAGA hasn't changed. Like, we didn't change. Like all this in the channel, we didn't randomly all wake up one day and be like, nope, we don't like MAGA anymore. Like, you moved that way on us. And
we're like, where are you going? And they're like, you're not MAGA. We're like, what are you talking about? Like, you guys moved away from us. It's exactly what the left did.
What the left did.
Bill Maher said the same thing. He's like, I didn't move. You guys moved away from me. And now we're watching the right do that same thing, where we're all like, no, we don't want this brand of conservatism that you say we have to follow. We're going to do, we want America and America only. America first. All the time and only, and we have to do things differently. And if you're not on board with that, then yeah, we'll split, but you move, not us. We've always been here.
Yeah, or come back over here. Like, hey, come back over here is like all we're saying. And when we talked about Trump endorsing candidates like Randy Fine and Lindsey Graham, and then does this.
Right.
Look at this giant rant against Thomas Massey, who he's more libertarian than I even agree with. But I mean, this dude is the most America First politician in the conservative movement right now in Congress. I mean, he just is policy wise. And this is what he says: third-rate Congressman Thomas Massey, a weak, pathetic rhino. He called Thomas Massey.
He's definitely one of your biggest
rhino.
supporters. Yeah, he's definitely not a rhino.
And so they're gonna they're gonna primary him with a former SEAL. I think they're gonna try to run $20
million super PAC too. Yeah.
With Marion Abelson right here, who's going to run $20 million to try to unseat him. Also, who's Marion Abelson? We all know the same Israeli billionaire who put Trump in power. But I mean, like, this is what Trump's doing. He's spending his time and money to primary like the most America First guy in office. And why? Oh, because Massey's forcing through the release of the Epstein files. That's what it's all about.
Right. Well, there's something that's really interesting too. Why the government shutdown was probably the closest that we're going to get to a true crisis about releasing the Epstein files. There's a Democratic representative. I can't put her in what house, but the government shutdown essentially held up her nomination. The Blue Anon,
Adelita Gravala.
There we go. The Blue Anon conspiracy theory is that she is the tying or the one vote that puts them over to release it on the floor.
I'm gonna do a whole video of this. I can confirm this through inside details. That yes, Thomas Massey currently has 218 votes once she is sworn in. However, this is what's happening, and I can promise you this is 100% true because I'm not gonna say how I know, but literally from maybe people we're talking about here. The Trump administration is currently working overtime to intimidate, threaten, and push force fear into the Republicans who are willing to vote. So they are basically telling all the Republicans who Thomas Massey has ready to vote cross-party that they will be primaried if they vote to release the Epstein files. That's what Donald Trump is doing right now. Does that, like, the American people like are going to hear that. They're going to learn that. And what the fuck are they going to think? Like, you're literally trying to primary your own America First candidates because they're going to vote to release Epstein files. That's where we're at. MAGA.
I get it if there's somebody that you truly think we have somebody better, but primarying somebody just for that, like you have this vote and suddenly you have to go, okay, well now we're going to primary you. Yeah, but with who? Like who's going to run? Are they a better candidate? What are we talking about?
This is who they want to primary right here, Aaron. This is what he says. Quit covering for pedophiles, put America before Israel, put farmers before corporations, quit funding wars abroad, reduce spending and control inflation, quit attacking independent voices. That's his. That's his stance.
Oh my God, put me in jail. I agree 100% with Thomas. Yeah, I can't believe we should all attack that guy. That guy sounds like the
Trump's like, we're going to spend
at.
$20 million to unseat this guy.
Oh my God, it's so frustrating. These people cannot get out of their own way. They absolutely can. I'm glad, Ian Smith is talking about this as well. Like we were talking about earlier, he just absolutely nailed kind of the transition to where we are today, but it's because of stuff like that. It's because of stuff like that. Trump why would I support a guy that ever did that? And now he's going at Thomas Massey. I don't care. Donald Trump, please, you got other stuff to do. We haven't passed any bills. You have a finite amount of time before the midterms, and then you're probably going to be a lame duck. You got stuff you got to do. He's just not doing it.
They're not doing it. They're not doing anything.
It's frustrating.
Aaron, do you remember when Trump very first got elected? I kind of went on a rant to you where I was like, okay, good. They have complete solidified power, but they better fucking do something. They better fucking use it.
Right. 100%.
And they did exactly what we said they would do. Is fucking nothing.
They're so good at doing nothing. They're so good about talking about, oh, my principles and blah, 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 blah. That world does not exist. Okay. We don't want to set a precedent that could be used against us later. Shut you pussy. You have to. They've already done it against you. When are we going to start winning? I care about winning and I want to continue to win. These people cannot figure it out.
But then you got people, look at people like Mark in the chat. He thinks this is Trump derangement syndrome. Do you think Trump has a 37% approval rating and has forced supporters like me and Aaron away from him because he's done a good job, Mark? You think that's us?
I'm not even away from him. I still support him. I'm a proud conservative. I will support him until he gets out of office. He's the president because I value the presidency more than I care about individual politicians who, again, are all trash and they're tools. I don't have derangement syndrome about a hammer. I don't care about the tool. It does not matter.
The hammer's not being used. That's what we're complaining about.
That's what we're complaining about is things aren't getting done. It's my will that the hammer is supposed to do. I use the hammer to hit a nail. I want it to hit this nail and it looks like the Epstein files and the hammer is telling me it won't. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the issue. There's no, take all the people out of it. Use the anthropomorphic hammer analogy. There you go.
Also,
We'll
Aaron, I say this, conservatives, and this has always been one of the most positive things I think about conservatives is they are a fickle voter base, which means we're not like Democrats. You don't just get to shove a corpse in front of us and everyone unites behind him and goes, yep, that's our guy. And we're going to vote for him and support him no matter what he does and how bad he does and how much he burns in, or Kamala Harris, right? Like, we're not going to rally behind that. Like, conservatives have always been like, you have to put forth a candidate who's going to do the things he said he's going to do and actually do beneficial things on behalf of our party. We're not going to fucking vote for you. And you've seen fractures, the Tea Party and all these different things. Like, the conservatives, that's not what we're about. And now what I see with the hardcore MAGA crowd is just like, I don't care what Trump does. I support him no matter what. And you're just like, that's what the left does. I thought we were supposed to be different about this.
The right was always a wide tent of a bunch of wacky dudes. It was always like the cantina scene from Star Wars. You'd have the libertarians that were over here, and then the staunch 2A conservatives that were over here, and then people that
the neocons.
Neocons. You had like whole groups of people, and they typically interacted pretty well, and that was totally fine. Like the big tent, wide tent thing that we're supposed to do. We never agreed with one another because we are independent rights advocates that think that I am the governing person for the government. I tell them what to do. They act upon my will. That's what the Constitution says. I tell them in this representative republic how I want the government to run. And I'm allowed to tell them that we're going to delete the government because they're not doing a good job. That's in the papers. That's the thing, right?
Kind of how this country was founded.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy to think about it in that sense. Right. Like, but that's the world in which we live. And these politicians, they sort of like lose sight of that and need to be reminded of it every once in a while. It's not like that anymore. Like we don't have those allegiances. It's like MAGA is acting like, well, why doesn't everybody support everything I did? And we're like, what the fuck are you talking about? We never have.
Right.
The libertarians have always done their own thing. And I'm like, I don't agree with legalizing all drugs all the time for kids to have them. Like,
you think Ron Paul was always in lockstep with what the Republicans were doing?
Right. Exactly. Or like these blue dog Democrats that really had like conservative values. And it was kind of hard to tell like who was who and whatever else. It's just not like that anymore. But to watch these old people, like the through line is like people not reading the room, but to watch these people not be able to recognize that like, oh, the old ways are like dying and none of this stuff is working anymore. And maybe the factions aren't going to like play nice anymore, just like the left does. And then we're going to have to find a way through it. But it's frustrating. It's frustrating to go through. I'll tell you that much, because I'm telling you from going through it myself and going through an evolution, it is frustrating because I want somebody to figure it out.
Yeah. And I was always a like lockstep Republican all the way up until like, maybe, I don't know. I mean, 2016, that's when I was like, when Trump entered, it was kind of like, whoa, what the fuck's going on? Everything's getting weird. You started seeing like true colors from people like Ted Cruz and everybody where you're like, oh, this is all weird. But we are sitting here talking about all the chaos, and it's not just Republicans. If you look at the left right now, the left's literally just started their own civil war. This is what's so crazy in the political scene is like MAGA's got
my
a
last
civil
one, and
war.
then I got to bounce. Sorry.
Yep, you're good. And then you got the left's going through their own civil war. But if you were to talk to Donald Trump, he would tell you that this is the strongest the United States has ever been, the strongest economy, the strongest border, the strongest military, the strongest friendships, and the strongest spirit of any nation anywhere. This is the golden age of America, which it doesn't really feel like anybody agrees with that. And, as you call for things like the strongest economy in the world, and then you look at, I don't know, the fact that we lost 1.1 million jobs this year. And there's, according to Jerome Powell, who, look, I don't trust the guy that much, but like literally came out and said there is literally zero new job creation in the United States right now. That's not great.
Right.
The economy is not great. Like the border, like people think, oh, Nate's a leftist, Nate's in the center. I'm a lot further right than a lot of people realize. Like the border, where's the border wall? Why hasn't there been 10 million people deported? That, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I want to say for the 6th month in a row, we've allowed zero entry into the United States. So the border's secure. I'd like to see a wall. I want to see a wall completed. I'll take 0 entries over the last 6 months. That's a record. It hasn't happened in the last 60 years. So I'll take it. It's a win, but I'm not going to give anybody their flowers.
Yeah, that's the biggest
over it.
win. It's the biggest win I give Trump for sure too.
Well, but that's because it's Tom Homan, and he's one of the bright lights in this administration. He's one of the few guys.
Yeah.
He's one of the few guys that I trust to actually run a fucking department. Is Tom Homan? He actually
whether you
knows
like
what
him or
he's talking
not,
about.
he's gruff.
Exactly.
He does what he says. Yeah.
I'm sorry, and he's always been right. He's always justified. He never goes too far one way or another. He doesn't take any shit. He does his job, and he's got all the data and the analytics to back it up. And he's not political. He doesn't give a fuck. Like he is a bulldog that's there
He
to
said the
shut
same
the border
thing
down.
for the last 10 years, no matter who was in charge, for sure.
Never changed. Yeah, not through Obama, not through Trump the first time. Yeah, not now. So, yeah, but that's why the border has been doing so well. But there's a ton of things that we want to see getting done here, and they're just not getting done. What are we doing? Where are the deportations? You promised mass deportations. I think we've deported something like 750,000 people total since we started. Like we're gonna
And
have to
there's
pump those
probably
numbers
close to 20 million.
way up. Yeah. And the other thing they'll do is they'll play with numbers on this, and they'll have like people that they turned away at the border, people that self-deported. That program is actually going pretty well. You pay $1,000, you self-deport. So they'll wrap in self-deportations. And then sometimes like when family members have to get reunited and they're able to, deport them just by saying, hey, we'll pay for your ticket to go back to Mexico to your family where you have to go.
Yeah.
They count those as deportations. So even those numbers have fluff in them. It's just nonsense.
Yeah. All right. You got to get out of here.
I do. I got to go.
Yep, all good, brother.
Tend to these kiddos.
Yep. Well, thank you very much. Everybody, pin comment, go follow Aaron at Aaron Loves America. We'll have Aaron back on. Aaron knows more about politics than me. I pretend like I know shit about politics. That's why it's good to have him on. Give you guys real facts and not just my opinions. So thanks, Aaron. And
I appreciate it, man.
Yep. All right, buddy.
Later, everybody.
All right. So what we're going to do, obviously, we still got to go through the show. We're only halfway through the show. We are going to, let's see. Oh, what did the poll ever say on these super chats, huh? It's 50-48, dead down the middle. All right. So we're going to contend with the end of the segments. We're not at the end of the segments yet. Let's blow through. We're going to keep working our way through Republicans. We're going to do some super chats, then take a quick break. All right. But let's keep moving through this, because as we talk about, yes, the amazing economy that we have going on. If you guys didn't hear, yeah, you got a $2,000 tariff dividend coming your way, guys. You guys ready for this? $2,000 to your bank accounts. I have no idea if this is actually going to happen. I have a feeling it's not going to happen. Remember that $2,000 Doge refund you were supposed to get that just kind of disappeared and nobody ever talked about it again. So yeah, the tariff dividend, maybe you get it as a tax refund. I would think most likely it was something he put out and you guys are never going to hear anything about it ever again, would be my guess. Let's see. Let's put that in a poll. That's always a good poll, huh? For you guys, do you think, let's end this one first. You guys think the tariff dividend will actually show up in your bank accounts? Tariff 2K coming. Yes or no? What do you guys think? You think you're actually going to have this in your bank accounts, or you think this is another bullshit lie that just got thrown out there and that we'll just pretend it never happened and we never talked about it and we'll move on? No big deal. Also, when we talk about the economy, guys, Donald Trump says everything is down. Prices are down everywhere on everything. It's the greatest economy in the world. However, he got fact-checked by Fox News, unfortunately. And if anybody is going to take his side, it's going to be Fox. That's what they had to say.
Prices are up in the United States for coffee. It's up almost 20%. Utility up 11.7%. And then electricity is up 5.1%, and vehicle repair, if you need your car fixed, it's up 11.5%.
That's not including food and rent, which we both know, or we all know, is way, way up. Everything's up. The economy is not in a good spot. We all know it. You know it. I know it. Labor market's trashed. I don't know why we keep pretending how good this economy is. And I live in anybody out there live in a rural community or a farming community, ranching community, because I do. And they're some of the hardest hit and absolutely gutting and destroying our farmers. Not the greatest choice for long term. So I've got a clip here. of a farmer talking about how, and this is very normal for the farming community right now.
Almost no equity left.
It's getting down. It's getting down. It's getting low.
Do you think you can make it another year?
I don't know. Do you just keep going, rolling the dice, hoping things will turn? I mean, it's not looking good.
President Trump has promised a new bailout for American farmers, as much as $13 billion that he said would be paid for by the tariffs.
Oh, okay. Tariffs are going to pay for that too. Okay, there's the bailout. You know who already received you know what farmers already received a bailout? Somebody's farmers did. $40 billion bailout. It was, yeah. Argentinian farmers and ranchers received a $40 billion bailout, and they've already received it. Whereas now we're promising American farmers a $13 billion bailout, maybe at some point with the tariffs, because that is America first. This is how America first works, guys. We bail out Argentinian farmers and ranchers for American. And I'll tell you guys, I've got friends out here that and this is how they make their money. They're farmers, huge farming operations, and they'll tell you they're all one bad year away from going under. And this is not an easy thing to do. And we are actively trying to fuck farmers over in this country by policy. We're trying to do it. It's already hard enough. And now through policy, we're making it even worse. And guys, you think all of these small family farms, all of them that are going under, that's going to be a good thing? The best case scenario is that now conglomerate corporate level are just going to take all the land and they're going to take all the farming. That's best case scenario. Worst case scenario is that we lose the farms and we just come completely dependent on foreign countries to import our food. You think that's a good system? Be like China, be reliant on importing our food to feed our people? Not great. What? Donald Trump will tell you the economy is doing well. Prices are down, ladies and gentlemen. 2025 Thanksgiving dinner under Trump is 25% lower than last year. Huh. Under Biden, my costs are lower than the Democrats on everything, especially oil and gas. So the Democrats' affordability issue is dead. Stop lying. You hear that, everybody? Stop complaining about affordability. Shut your mouths. Shut your mouths, Americans. Affordability isn't an issue. Everything's cheap. Just shut your mouths. That's what you're being told. Everything's cheap. You guys we all go to the grocery store. We know prices aren't down. All of us know that. It's fucking ridiculous. And this is the type of thing that's starting to happen. For a guy that's got the best economy in the world, and our good friend Benny Johnson here, wow, doesn't get much more disrespectful than this. Oh. Trump is just food.
I have said your name. You solemnly swear.
Yeah, why do you think they're booing him? Also, like Benny Johnson, oh, so disrespectful. They're booing the president. Was Benny Johnson crying when Joe Biden was being booed at events? No, I'm pretty sure he was laughing about it. He wasn't talking about how disrespectful it is. But you gotta appreciate Fox News, guys, because Fox News put out the same exact clip. I want you to use your ears and notice what's a little bit different about this exact same clip that Fox News put out to its viewers.
I have said your name.
You hear that?
You solemnly swear.
That
I will support anything.
So you don't hear the booing. Okay, so let me tell you guys, as a guy who's a content creator and does post editing. See, in editing software like DaVinci Resolve, there's a little tool called AI voice isolation. And what you use that for is to take songs out of the background. And anybody who's actually does video editing, I'm sure if anybody in the chat hears that, immediately can tell a video that's been run through AI voice isolation. Fox News ran the booing through AI voice isolation to take out the booing to show American people that Trump wasn't being booed. Fox News, a media, aren't they supposed to be journalists? Why are they running cover? Why are you using AI voice isolation to edit out the booing of the president? That seems a little bizarre. And you can tell by the audio. And like I said, you can tell immediately if you know what it sounds like. There's some slight, somebody said there's some slight reverb to it. Yeah, you can actually hear it. It's just a fucking joke, dude. It's all a joke at this point. And of course, you got people like this, the same guy we're just talking about. It's so disrespectful as he rides around on Air Force One on taxpayer fucking dollars with Eric Trump and Trump's new NASA administrator. We're going to the moon. I'm incredibly optimistic about the future. As this guy goes on fucking private jets on your tax-paying dime. Fucking shill for the administration. No conflict of interest there. Wonder where he gets his subscribers for. You know what's really interesting about Benny Johnson's channel, guys? And I'm, hey, sorry to talk shit, but I'm going to. He has, I believe, the fastest growing YouTube channel on YouTube subscriber-wise. However, his videos do less views than mine, but his subscribers increase at 10 times, and mine increase fast. I have a fast growing channel. His subscribers increase 10 times the speed of mine do with less views. Now, how is that possible? Does that make sense to you guys? Seems like the math ain't mathing on that one. It's almost like maybe somebody's paying to, I don't know, prop that up for propaganda? I don't know. I'm not saying they are. I'm just asking questions. But it sure is interesting, isn't it? Very bizarre. It's usually not how the math works on YouTube, but there's nothing to see there. Nothing to see there, I'm sure, right? Excuse me. And in more America First news, yes, Trump says that he can't deny 600,000 Chinese students from coming to the U.S. colleges and taking slots from American-born students. Trump defends the move, saying he knows what MAGA wants better than anyone. And what we want is 600,000 Chinese students coming and inflating the cost of upper education for Americans so that they can take all that knowledge right back to their home country of China. That's pretty America First. Super America First, everybody. Does that feel America First to you? This is weird. Doesn't it feel like the Biden administration? You guys ever think about that? Yeah, somebody, as I said it, David Lowndes said, this is Joe Biden again. Does it not feel like we just are in the Biden administration 2.0 with this guy? China first, Argentina first, excuse me. It's the same guy. He's just Joe Biden. But don't worry. Nothing weird going on with his, people close to him. Like his, our friend Ricky HD, who we love on this channel. Oh, he's got some hard takes. One of Trump's spiritual advisor, unfortunately, just ran into a little legal trouble. I wonder what that is. Let's take a look.
So this guy right here, his name is Robert Morris. He is the founder and the pastor of one of the biggest evangelical Zionist mega churches in all of Texas. But he was Trump's spiritual advisor in his first term in office. This guy right here just pled guilty to 6 counts of abusing a 12-year-old little girl. 6 counts he pled guilty to it. Guess what his sentence is? 6 months in jail. I I guess it pays to be a piece of shit.
There you go.
If it was up to me, this guy would be and some other things that I really can't talk about here on this platform. My question is, why is there so many people that are directly involved in Trump's circle that are getting accused and sentenced and pleading guilty to being cheese pizza? Why? Why is that?
So there you go. Trump's spiritual advisor gets caught abusing a 12-year-old girl for years. He gets 6 months in prison. You winning yet, MAGA? All you lingering MAGA supporters, how you feel about your boy? How do you feel about your boy? Also, if you're a fan of the channel, you know, we see we use a lot of Ricky's clips on here because he's base as fuck. Talk to Ricky today. And we're going to have Ricky on the channel for one of these lives. Hopefully, maybe next Tuesday. You guys into that? You guys into having Ricky on the channel for a collab live here next week? Just talked to him earlier today, actually, about it. He's down. So I think that'll be a good one, huh? We're definitely going to do that. Yep, we're going to have Ricky on here pretty soon. It's going to be good times. Yeah, okay, we're almost on the way done with Republicans because there's been so much stupid shit from Republicans this week. It's rough, more than Democrats. I want you guys to realize this is a real photo. This is not a Photoshopped photo. This is a real photo. Let's all just admire the amazing photo that we have here in front of us. What the fuck is this? The worst spray tan job. This is blackface. Guys, this is legitimately blackface. Trump's in blackface right now. Like, there's nothing else you could call this than blackface. This is wild. Anyway, there's no story to this. This is just a picture of Trump in blackface, which... But don't worry. As we talked about, Joe Biden, and what I mean by Joe Biden is Donald Trump, because they are the same person at this point. You remember this? Sleepy Joe? Oh, well, here's Trump, as he is just fucking racked out. His Dr. Oz talks about obesity and dementia.
People can sleep again because they can breathe as when they go to bed. Folks whose knees don't hurt. People who don't have heart attacks, renal failure, dementia. All the things we know are associated with obesity and much more. People can sleep again because they can breathe as when they go to bed. People can sleep again because they can breathe as when they go to bed. Folks whose knees don't hurt. People who don't have heart attacks, renal failure, dementia. All the things we know are associated with obesity and much more. People can
just racked, boys. In the middle of a fucking press conference. Just fuck it, dude. I'm sorry. It's just racked. Just all right, man. Yeah. Remember Sleepy Joe? Yeah. All right. A couple more. Here's Trump talking shit about JD Vance. Probably why JD hates him.
President Xi, who's really a friend of mine, as much as he can be a friend. He's a tough man. He's a tough man. Smart man, actually. Very smart. The press doesn't like it when I call him very smart. You know, they think I'm not supposed to call him smart. But he leads 1.4 billion people without question. In fact, during the meeting, we were there. A couple of you were there, and some of you saw it. So he's here, and he's got about 6 people on each side. And every one of those people was standing like this. They were at attention. And I made a comment to one of them, and I got no response. I said, "Are you going to answer me?" I got no response. And President Xi didn't let him have any. So if there's any question, I said, I want my cabinet to behave like that. That's the way I'm demanding that I want them sitting up like that, Tim, just nice and straight. I never saw posture like that. I've never seen men so scared in their lives. They have the equivalent of a vice president. He was, I said, "Are you going to answer my question?" And he's like, he doesn't move. I said, "What's wrong with this guy?" "I will answer all questions." Why don't you behave like that? JD doesn't behave like that. JD buds into conversations.
Wow. So, yeah. All right, just admiring China. That's and Xi Jinping and everybody there. Speaking of which, JD Vance, if you guys didn't remember, you know, the guy who supposedly is such a big supporter of Trump. You guys remember this about JD, the biggest never Trumper on the entire planet?
I will be a vice president who never forgets where he came from. I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him. I don't know who I'm going to vote for. I'm definitely not going to vote for Trump. My current plan is to vote either third party, or as I joke to my wife, I might write in my dog. What Trump is just another opioid. I can't stomach Trump. I think that he's noxious and is leading the white working class to a very dark place. There is definitely an element of Donald Trump support that has its basis in racism or xenophobia. And I agree with you on Trump. I don't think he actually cares about folks. I think that he's leading people in a very dark direction. And that's ultimately what worries me the most about Trump. Trump is a really...
There's hours of that out there, by the way. Do you guys think that JD just had a change of heart one day? You guys think that? What did our poll say? Because I want to do another one. 75% of you do not believe that the tariff money is coming. And I don't blame you. Let's have a little poll about JD. Does JD actually support Donald Trump after that clip we watched? He woke up one day and he had this giant epiphany and decided, actually, I love Donald Trump after, 8 years of trashing him. Let me know what you guys think. Did he have, just this massive change of heart? Or is the dude just a complete fucking reptile opportunist that who knows what his politics actually are? But speaking of how much people support JD Vance, well, his brother actually was in an election here the other night. Did you guys see how well his brother did? JD endorsed his brother, his little brother. Let's look at the results of that race. Yes, JD Vance's brother unfortunately got blown out 80% to 20 in Cincinnati's general mayor election. Blown out of the water. Wasn't even close. 80-20. Big yikes for JD Vance on that, huh? Big yikes. All right, so we've made it. Made it through our Republicans. Yeah, in Cincinnati as well. Just absolutely destroyed. Let's hit those super chats before we jump into Democrats. I'm going to give you a little preview to what we got for Democrats here. Let's one little preview before we jump into super chats so you guys can see there's some hilarious crazy shit with Democrats this week. Kamala Harris came out and said, "I am saddened to learn of the passing of former Vice President Dick Cheney." Vice President Cheney was a devoted public servant from the halls of Congress to many positions of leadership in multiple presidential administrations. His passing marks a loss of a figure who, with a strong sense of dedication, gave so much of his life to the country that he loved. Doug and I are keeping their family in her prayers. Yes, Kamala Harris, fawning over one of the most disgusting human beings in American history, Dick Cheney. One of the people responsible for the deaths of millions of Iraqis and thousands of U.S. soldiers so that he could get enriched from companies like Halliburton. Yes. That's what we like to see. Kamala Harris, who is also going to be running for president supposedly again. Very, very interesting. Let's hit our supers, and then we're going to take a short break before we jump into, just so I can pee. Because gosh, I wish I could drink my Fireball here and last 3 hours without a pee break, but I can't. But let's keep it moving. Oh, we already did this one. Jesse, my buddy Jesse on Fire. Guys, we'll be live with Jesse on Fire, JD Delay on Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific, of course. Jesse says, who's paying for that lawsuit, though? If we thought cash was compromised before, now his credibility is flatlined. So it's being paid for by taxpayer dollars, as far as I know. So that's great. Talking about Cash's girlfriend on that. Stwoma, appreciate your service and channel, brother. This cannot be stressed more than ever if we don't exercise our rights that you and our other brave soldiers have fought for. We will lose them, so speak up now. Yes, and especially our First Amendment rights. So the First Amendment is the most key. We cannot, guys, let any of that slip for a moment. And so we cannot let shitbags like Mark Levine call for the cancellation and censorship of people. We cannot let lawsuits from the FBI director's girlfriend to infringe upon First Amendment rights. We can't budge. Great comment. Omar says, how can I purchase some advertising on your podcast? Not relevant. I was a team medic in 7th group in 1980s, if that means anything. Purchase some advertising. You got to email me or message me on Instagram, and my wife will find it and let me know. It might actually be the spark that shifts. Shit hits the fan, in my opinion. Nate, is Nate a wang af, or is he soy pilled like Aaron? If you don't know, I mean, go watch my episode on Nick Fuentes and find out if I'm a wang af or not. Tell you everything you need to know. No money, no honey. Viking Nate, thanks for your service. Real life Captain America. I don't know, Mike. I don't think about that. Nah, but I appreciate the compliment, brother. Does this Aaron person have a YouTube? God is King. Yes, One's Ready, the One's Ready podcast. Let's pull it up. If you are interested in Air Force, special warfare type stuff, they have the best podcast on the internet when it comes to that. All right, let me pull it up for you guys. This is the One's Ready podcast with Aaron Love. He has Aaron Loves America. That's his main channel. And then the One's Ready podcast. So that's his podcast right here. Make sure you, if you're interested in this type of stuff, head on over there, give him a follow. And then his Aaron Loves America is his political stuff. All right, One's Ready. Got it. I see that. Yep. What mixer? So I've got a couple. I've got the I can pull it over here. Got the Roadcaster, big beefy bastard. Not using that right now. I'm using a Focusrite right now, but got a couple different ones that I bounce around with. Vance is a pogue. Yes, he is. How about them wieners? How do we fight back against the coming storm? Leaving technology, controlling speech, and compromise politicians. I never believe that it's over. I don't know, man. I am concerned that it's going to hit us all at once. The censorship, the deplatforming. People like me are going to all of a sudden not have channels overnight. I do think that's coming. I don't know when it's coming, but we're just going to keep doing what we're doing until then. So Bobby says, I grew up during Nixon, served under Reagan, Clinton. We were told about the human humidor. Why can't we hear about Epstein? Don't know. Maybe because the people in charge are implicated, would be my guess. Thank you. Please, for the love of God, just Google Holden Blood Feast meme and give it a look. You'll not regret it. Stay safe. Okay. I don't know if I'm supposed to do that on stream or not. I'm going to write it down. I know I'm not going to pull up anything on stream because it could be something that gets me banned, but I'll take a look at it later. All right. Ada maybe. MAGA greater than TO, greater than America First, greater than TO, greater than America First is real. Thanks to the evil billionaires. You think MAGA is greater than America First? Or are you saying, I'm not sure what you're saying there. MAGA is definitely not greater than America First, in my opinion. I was pro-Trump. So much for draining the swamp. Yeah, a lot of people were. A lot of people are disappointed. Hard to be prejudiced on a full belly. Multi-generational is returning. Is this where you live? Here in Wisconsin, 3-bedroom, 1 acre, $300K. Yeah, Wisconsin's probably a lot cheaper than Oregon and California, homie, and Washington. Every member of the military was normally used as rablats for experimental MRI technology during the DoD's. Well, I wasn't, but a lot of people were. Politicians refused to act protecting their carriers. But yeah, a lot of people were forced into that. 63-year-old male voted Trump 3 times. Now I turn off the volume when he talks because I can't listen to his bullshit. It is insane, Steve, how many people are saying that exact same thing now. We want, yeah, God, dude, the 2000s, bro. I just had a conversation with my buddy about this the other day. Oh, you guys know, like the idea behind like the movie The Matrix, where they talk about like that was like 2000 was the greatest time in human history, and it's been all downhill from there. I think it's true. I donate money to Thomas Massey. Yeah, and he's going to need the help because they're primarying him with $20 million. So he's going to need some good. And when it gets closer to it, we're definitely going to do some live streams where we try to help Massey out with some stuff like that because he is a very, very America First candidate. Policy over party, but damn sure follow through. Trump hasn't. Plain and simple. Wood chipper. Yeah, that's true. DoD whistleblowers have all the information necessary to prove The technology was pushed onto the world through premeditated fraud. Yeah, and they're not doing anything about it. You guys notice that? Nothing has been fucking done. No one's been held accountable. Hey, Nate, sent you a DM on Instagram with some information related to Charlie Kirk. Okay, I'll take a look when we're done. Joe Biden, whose admin allowed millions of illegals in through the border, was self-professed Zionist and one of the biggest recipient of ACAM money. They all are. And Trump is too. Trump is a bigger recipient. You seen Trump? Trump's taken $250 million from AIPAC just in the last election. I think Kamala Harris took like $8 million. So you want to do comparisons, it's not even close. Thank you, Brian. I'm rural Idaho, maybe? Or no, I'm rural. I'd rather just waste money here and try to fix my car. Can't afford alternate range bills. Yeah. Failing economy is hidden by Antifa, ICE raids, Mom Donnie. Yeah, yep. Distractions. Thanks, Rob. Here to see Munchkin. I might be able to get Munchkin in here. Happy Veterans Day, Nate. Yeah, I'll bring her back after the break if I can find her. Who knows what she's doing? Munching around. Thank you for your service and your content. Especially love you and JD delayed together. Oh, guys. So the charity stream, we were going to do it this week. The thing is, obviously, the government opened up. The SNAP benefits went out. So what we're going to do instead, and all the money that we've already got, we're going to run the start of December a Christmas stream, and we're going to do a Toys for Tots charity stream instead. Okay, so then we're going to make sure local community gets a shit ton of money so that we can donate a bunch of it to Toys for Tots. Okay, so the charity stream is coming, but because obviously the government reopened, I think that'd be a better use of the charity. But that's coming here in a couple weeks from now. Fort Knox audit, Doge, Epstein. We do need a Fort Knox audit, by the way. There's no gold in Fort Knox. I don't believe there is. Trump, master blowing smoke up our asses. Yeah, nobody believes it anymore, though. It's a problem. Second generation and grew up on a farm. We lose our farms. Global economics will collapse and trucking industry will collapse in a year. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. To Nate and Aaron, happy Veterans Day. Thank you, Mark. $2,000 tariff check, classic diversion tactic. Here's a shiny bauble. They did it during COVID, right? Gave us $2,000, and then the inflation made you pay $50,000 extra over the next 4 years. So, yeah, it's not great. Return to the gold standard, cancel credit. Yeah, I don't know if we can because I don't know where the gold is, like we were just talking about, Victor. But, yeah, once we went off of it, and, during Nixon, we kind of fucked ourselves. I didn't kind of. We definitely did. Benny's mad because the older veterans are very unhappy about all the friends they've lost, all they fought for. And this is what they get. Section 8 housing. Against your religion to assume country is good right now. My beliefs are skewed. Yeah, well, it's not great. Going to the highest bidder. What's an alternative to Trump? Honest question. What was the alternative? The alternative was Kamala Harris, who I believe would have been just as bad, if not worse. And isn't that the fun thing about politics? You get the lesser of two evils, and the lesser of two evils is fucking terrible. Yay, American politics. Benny Johnson told Drama Queen. Can't watch that little tool. Yeah, we do not like him on this channel. I think he's a massive shill. I don't think he believes anything he says. I think he just makes a lot of money off the administration. That's just my feelings. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's just my opinion on it. It seems like he has zero authenticity at all to him. And here's the thing about authenticity, guys. Also, we're trying to get, and I'm talking about authenticity across the aisle, right? It's not just about like Republican, Democrat. You know why we're such a big fans of Anna Kasparian on the show, who's a leftist? Is because she's super authentic. I even like Cenk. I don't agree with a lot of what he says, but he's super authentic. So authenticity is something I like in people. I can be friends with somebody with wildly different political beliefs than me if they are genuinely authentic. And we're working on getting Anna on the show. I'm talking to the producers. I'm talking to them. We're working on it. We're big fans. Everybody around here is big fans of Anna. Well, not everybody, but most of the channel is. I think Trump has changed his tune after people tried to axe him. And of course, JD could stand with him because he was going to play nice with the establishment. Yeah, interesting. Do you remember when Trump announced JD would be his vice president? Do you guys remember? Any historian buffs out there? Do you remember when Trump made the announcement? You guys remember? Anybody out there? Somebody going to hit it? Waiting for the chat, see if any buffs. Yeah. It was 2 days after he was shot at Butler. Immediately after he was shot at Butler, he announced J.D. Vance as his VP, which seemed very bizarre at the time. Didn't make sense, but who knows? I don't know if there's any connections there, but that's how it happened. They don't call that shit on TV a program without a reason, my brother. Thanks, Bobby. Did JD take money from Israel? You might want to watch his content. That would be an incredibly poor investment on Israel's part. JD is not a Matt Tardio pro-Israel type of guy. The golden age is feeling more like a golden shower. Thanks for the merch giveaway. Oh, hell yeah, dude. It's comfy as hell. Everyone should go buy some. Well, they could, but we're sold out completely because, Jesus, guys, we did the first order. It sold out in 24 hours. We restocked. If you've bought anything also in the last couple days, keep in mind, it's going to be a couple days before it gets to you because we got the whole restock coming. And then we got a third restock that's going to be coming as soon as we get that Friday. But you guys, literally every single item of the American First merch, sweatshirts and everything sold out immediately. It's been so when it comes back up Friday, if you're looking for it, try to get in it because it's been crazy. The demand for the new, it's awesome. My buddy did an incredible job. Guy I used to work with, former third group dude, Silver Star winner, Bronze Star Medal of Valor, all kinds of stuff, does all my artwork. And he designed all that. So very, very cool stuff. Break Every Chain. April is Child Abuse Awareness Month and previous month. Yeah, maybe they should release the Epstein files in April. They're not going to at all, but seems like a good time. TO means as in going forward. Got it. Okay. That's what I figured. I figured you were either saying 8. I figured you were either saying greater than or you're saying moving towards. Got it. That makes more sense. Agree with you then in that sense. Super sticker. Thank you. Off topic, but in Wyoming, my northern sky is pretty fucking amazing. Green, north, red, Lord's nights. If you're in the north, I recommend stepping out for a minute to see if you got a view. There you go. If you're up north, Jasmine, go look outside your window. You got the northern lights going. Even if they get 218, we will not get the truth. I think you're probably right. I think we'll get some bullshit redacted version of it that doesn't actually have all the good stuff in it. Saw your debate yesterday. Sorry about your friend who put in that lose-lose situation. My condolences. Keep up the questions. There's nothing that could be have condolences about. That's fine. What I meant several reasons is the 2K. Guys, come on. We're going to get through this so we can take a quick break. But thank you all very much on this fine Veterans Day. Janet Story with the little girl with a nail in the baseball bats on the tattoo. That's kind of an interesting one. The old white preacher said, Clevin Little in Blazing Saddles. Son, you're on your own. Blazing Saddles, man, you could not make that movie today. Oh my God. Jeez. Just tuned in, brother. Ship Piro is a snake. I knew it all along. What's your thoughts on JD implementing no fatties and one fitness test? Happy Vets Day. JD implementing no fatties and one fitness test. Talking about JD Lelays implementing a no fatties and a fitness test. I must be reading that wrong, Dan. JD implementing. Oh, JD Vance. You mean Pete Hegseth? I think you mean Pete Hegseth. The PT test they're implementing is a fucking joke. Women will be able to pass it. 50-year-old men will be able to pass it, no problem. So I'm not a fan of it, to be honest. Gold for Fort Knox is on the walls of the Oval Office. Happy Veterans Day. Yeah, there's a lot of gold in there. God bless the homeless vets. Yeah. There's too many of them. Too many of them for sure. That's a big problem. And this is why I would rather our billions and billions and billions of fucking dollars that go to foreign countries go to this instead. That'd be nice. We don't have a homeless row in LA. You know what I'm saying? MAGA to America First. And America First is real. Billionaires and their puppets are getting us all to punch upwards at them. Yeah, they're doing a terrible job right now with the PR. I do not. Kawa Mawali. I don't know who that is, actually. Sorry. Time to get immature. Shout out to Dr. Wang. Yeah, where's the Dr. Wang? Has Dr. Wang been in the chat yet? Guys, have you seen Wang? Happy Vets Day. Thank you for what you did. How do you feel about Trump allowing... Well, Ned, if you'd like to know about how I feel about Trump, let's see, we'll pull it up right now. Trump bringing in old Al Jilani into the White House. Let me pull this up real quick and show you how I feel about it, which is this right here. So if you haven't seen this video I put out today, literally earlier that says Trump spits in global war on terror's veterans' faces on Veterans Day. So I could let you know how I feel about that. I'm pretty sure that sums it up pretty well. All right. Did we make it through? Thank you. All right. When chat says JD, we mean advance. Got it. Wood chipper solid. Yeah, I figured it out by the end there. All right, guys. Let us take a 2-minute break, and then we are going to jump back into Democrats. And we got some hilarious, I got a hilarious video to show you guys right on the backside of this that you're going to love. All right. So 2-minute break. Go grab a drink. Go use the bathroom. And we will be back for the second half of the show. Stand by. And back by popular demand, Baby Munchkin. She likes to do a little of that. Been chilling out there. We got Munch. Got Munch in the house. Little Munchy. Yeah. Oh, what you gonna do? All right, she's out of here. Everybody say bye, Munch. All right, there's Munch. Who's out munchkinning around? The show mascot. Yep. Little Munchkin. She made her appearance. Sometimes she's snoozing, you know. All right. A little pick me up here. Tactical cat. Yeah. All right. Let's jump into Democrats. All right. We got to actually. I love cats, man. You see my tattoos? Look at my tattoos, dude. Cat. Lion. Cat. I got a big munch. Oh, so I have Munchkin on my thigh here. Got Munchkin. Got Munchin on there too. All right, let's jump into Democrats, everybody. Hilarious video. Got this one. We're gonna jump into Mom Donnie first. All right, and when we do this, this video I found. I love these sketch comedies that they do. I don't know if you guys have seen these, but they're super funny. Political sketch comedy. Oh shit, my bad. All right, let's watch this. Here we go.
I'm Donnie. Congratulations on being the first radical Islamist communist mayor of New York City.
Thanks, Bernie. By any chance, could you spare some change? I promised a bunch of free stuff, and I have no idea how to pay for it.
I don't, but you should stop begging for money like you're some kind of homeless panhandler. Anyway, I'd like to know your plan to make NYC a better place to live.
Right. Let me show you. As you know, 9/11 was Islamophobic. The day after radical Islamist terrorists crashed a plane into the Twin Towers, Americans for no reason felt uncomfortable sitting next to men wearing turbans. So, I
want to make it illegal to remember 9/11. I have to be honest, Zoran. That's a bad idea. Besides, I don't even think you can make laws. That's because the system is Islamophobic. I'll call the New York governor right now. Hi, Kathy. Will you help me make it illegal to remember 9/11? No, that would require me to do my job, and I don't like to work. Oh, could you at least spare some change? I made so many promises I can't deliver on. Damn Islamophobists. All right, my next idea is prison reform. The New York prison system is full of people who don't deserve to be there. Did they commit felonies? Sure. Are a lot of them violent recidivists? You bet. But they're also victims. That's why I want to get rid of the NYPD so nobody can ever be arrested for being a victim again. I like the idea, but I don't think you'll get it done without help. And I know just who to ask. Alexandria, would you support Zoran's prison reform? And could you spare some change? There's so many things I said I could do but can't.
Well, I am the smartest woman in the world, but no, sorry.
Oh, so you're Islamophobic. Zoran.
All right. Oh man, those sketch comedies are always great on the politics side of things. All right. So, yes, turns out, guys, Democrats were shocked by the landslide election of left-wing candidate offering left-wing policies to left-wing voters. Who'd have thought, Democrats? Who'd have thought that this guy would win in New York City, the most expensive city in the world? I don't know if that's true, but it's got to be close. With a bunch of young people who literally can't afford to move out of their parents' basements. Yeah, why would Zoran win? I don't know. There's a few different reasons. Well, this lady, she got it wrong. She was under the assumption that Zoran had no chance to win. And here's why.
You will lose the election because you do not support Israel. You will lose the election because you do not support Israel.
Against all odds.
There you go. There you have it. The news has reached the crowd, and you hear those cheers erupting as Zoran Mamdani.
Turns out being anti our greatest ally was a pretty good move on his part. But that's not the only reason why he won. And, I'd like to say our friend, but he's not. We don't know him. But we talk about him on the channel here and there because he's the biggest name in politics right now. Nick Fuentes had his own ideas about why Zoran ended up winning. Let's see what he had to say.
Can't get a job, but my insurance is tripled. My health care is super expensive. If you're right leaning, you're saying illegals are still in my town. Crime is still rampant. We're still giving money to Ukraine and Israel. Am I going to vote for the guy that's behind all that is covering for Jeffrey Epstein on top of it? Or am I going to vote for the Democrats that say, we're just going to give you free stuff? We're going to make the bus free. We're going to make the bus free. We're going to freeze your rent. We know rent is getting too expensive. We're going to pass a law. It's not going to get more expensive. We're going to open up a grocery store where it's cheaper. And yeah, maybe it won't work. Maybe it will. We're going to try. Gee, I wonder why Republicans lost. I can't.
Wow. Duh. Is that crazy? To his point. Republicans have done fucking nothing with power for 10 months. People can't afford to live. And a guy comes in and goes, hey, I'm going to give you free shit if you vote for me. And people are shocked that young people went, okay, I'm going to vote for this guy instead. He's at least going to make the bus free. Duh. This isn't that complicated. And I do love this, right? I saw this one on Senator Mullen decided to say, the communist won. He's about to drive America's largest city into the ground. Now Americans have a clear choice between communism and common sense. Forgive me if I don't panic over liberal states going blue. And then I've actually seen the stats. It's even way worse than this for Senator Mullen. Senator Mullen gets drug and says, your state ranks 48th in education and healthcare. You're not in the top 25 of any category. 16% of your state relies on SNAP, which is one of the 5th highest in the nation. Your child poverty rate is 21%. Maybe you should shut the fuck up and get to work for your people instead of worrying about the mayor of New York City. Ooh, it's just absolutely fucking drug. I mean, yikes, yikes, yikes. Another interesting one, guys. I'm sure you've seen people talking about how everyone is going to move out of New York City. And I kind of thought this. I was like, yeah, of course. Like, of course, all the wealthy people are going to move out of New York City. But I didn't realize this. Just wait. Let's just watch. This has been what they've said.
New Yorkers are going to flee.
20 years.
They're going to flee New York because of Zoran Mamdani.
To my liberal friends who keep saying, well, tax rates don't matter, then why is it, Sean, that everybody is leaving New York?
The main reason people are leaving New York, for example, is taxes.
New York City, unfortunately, we know friends that have moved out of there for Florida and other places.
The millionaires are leaving in great numbers.
Taxpayers, the wealthy in New York, leaving.
There are thousands of people who are leaving New York.
Who would want to leave? Well, apparently a lot of people do if they get to a point where they're taxed to hell.
And the rich people will leave in droves.
The quality of life here is spiraling down the curve of Mayor de Blasio. They will leave.
And the reality is the most affluent and the strong companies can relocate.
A lot of people I know of are thinking about moving out of New York City.
You could just talk to any one of the top real estate agencies here. It's going to be fire sale in New York.
We actually have thought about moving because the taxes are just so burdensome. I mean, in New York, it's insane.
The millionaires in the city who, if they move out, heaven help New York City.
People are leaving New York City and New York State because of the high taxes.
You cannot continue to tax people. Don't you see what's happening even in New York City?
And it turns out none of those people left. They've all just been still there. Is it a ghost town? We just watched a clip of people saying they're going to leave for 15 years and they've never left. So I don't know. Maybe they are, maybe they won't. But, you know, we talked about this last week too, that, you know, with old Zoran in charge, this scary communist Muslim, oh my God, that, yes. Next, false flag. We all know what's probably coming, and you know who they're going to blame it on. Don't be shocked. Do not be shocked. You know what I mean? Now, I wish Aaron would have still been on because we got some of his clips that we're going to use. If you guys didn't see this, our girl Nance, Big Jugs Nance, everybody loves Nancy Pelosi. This channel is a big fan of Nancy Pelosi and Big Jugs Nance. Aaron had some interesting takes on this.
This one might be unpopular, but stay to the end. I think this is actually a good one. So Vodka Grandma Nancy Pelosi is ending her 500-year stint in politics. She's never done anything to produce anything in the entirety of her career. However, she did beat the S&P by almost 555%. I say we put her in charge of all finances in America and watch that stock market just go through the roof. 555%. It's pretty good.
Yeah. So Nance, now there's guys, there is a lot of vet bros or finance bros, not vet bros, finance bros who actually track and follow Nancy Pelosi's stock trades. And they are very, very upset right now because now Nance isn't going to have her insider trading access anymore because she's retiring, unfortunately. So, yeah, it's too bad. A lot of people upset. We're going to talk about a couple people we talked about on the channel last week that were Democrats that we all kind of liked their message. We liked what was going on with them. But now we have to take a look at, are these people really who we thought? Because first one we're going to take a look at is Tallarico, James Tallarico, who is in hot water right now because it turns out he's been following OnlyFans and escorts, and he's very, very religious.
James Tallarico, the Christian pastor, Democrat that's running for Texas Senate. I guess on social media, he follows, quote, several adult film performers, escorts, and OnlyFans models, according to an Axios review. Axios goes on to show some of the pictures of these folks. They're hotties. And again, not for me per se, but objectively, they're good looking. They all get a lot of followers. Axios says that staff went and looked to see if Tallarico had like chatted with any of them, and he had sent one of them a message that just said "Thank you, Alice," after she posted a pro Tallarico story. So my response to this is, hell yeah, James Tallarico. He's a single man. He's on social media. He's doing well. He's a rare Democrat who's like doing well, communicating with younger people on TikTok. He's a rare Democrat who's able to go into the manosphere, hang out with Joe Rogan for a while. Like, yeah, he's going to follow hot girls on Instagram. Great.
All right. So what do you guys think? He's a single dude. He's an adult. He's following hot chicks. Do we give a fuck? He's not a married dude. Like, this is a hit piece they did on him, right? Like, oh, he's following OnlyFans models and porn stars. Oh my God. He's single. He's young. Do we give a fuck that he's following hot chicks on Instagram? He's not married. He's not like following. He's not. Think about this. We got Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, getting caught fucking cheating on his, well, not caught, allegedly caught cheating on his wife on Grindr, right? Like probably a quarter of fucking Republican congressmen are in the closet gays. And you got Tallarico out here who's just a young, single dude following hot chicks and saying, hey, thanks for sharing my, said OnlyFans model that the only thing they find is, hey, thanks for sharing a positive story about me. I don't know, man. I don't got a problem with that. He's a young single dude. Who gives a fuck, man? I can tell you when I was a young single dude, I was following hot chicks too on Instagram. I don't anymore because I'm married. Do we give a fuck? Let's get a poll on that. Let's chat. Do we give a fuck that Democrat Senate candidate James Tallarico, who we like on this channel? He's got a great message, I think. Do we care that he was caught following porn stars and OnlyFans model? Tallarico, are we mad at Tallarico? Chat, what do we think? Are we mad at him? Is he a bad boy for his following of hot girls on the internet? All right, let us know. But we got another one, and this one is this might grate you a little bit different because we've been a pretty big Tallarico. There we go. That's a good one. We've been a pretty big supporter of him on the channel so far, but we're going to have to see what you guys think about this, and that is Graham Plattner, who I like his message, but this, I don't know. Let's find out.
I would love to be out protesting. I would love to be out knocking on doors. But I'll be honest, a person like me could get killed right now in this country. I believe in you, and I believe that you are a better man than you once were in the past, because I'm a better person than I was in the past. If I stand with you, will you fight with me? Will you stand up for me?
I firmly believe that every single American has the right to live the life they want to live in their own body as they see fit.
We're good so far. Let's see where he goes from here.
I also fully recognize that as a cis white male,
Really? Okay.
with a bunch of tattoos and a long combat record, that I get to put myself out there in ways that other people don't. I just want to tell you, this is why I'm doing this. I am doing this because I know that I can say things. I know that I can have conversations. I know that I can knock on doors in places that a lot of other people can't have access to, that a lot of other people won't feel safe in. That is a responsibility that I feel, and it is why I am doing this. And I just want to say thank you, because I know how hard this is. Yeah, I just want to say that, yes, I will absolutely stand next to you. And if we ever have to go knock doors together, I'm happy to stand by your side.
All right. So, what do we think about that? Cis white male. I'll tell you this, man. I'm a very socially liberal person. I always have been. I've always been very fiscally conservative. But there's limits for me. And this pandering shit, this cis white male, you're not a cis fucking white male. That's not a real term. That's fucking made up. You're a white male. That's it. That's a big fucking no to me. I get it. Like, he could have, and here's the thing. I don't have a problem with his message that I want to accept everybody. I want everybody to be able to live their life in a safe way. Look, I don't have a fucking problem with that. As long as you aren't negatively affecting anybody else. I'm very libertarian in this. I guess it's not socially liberal. It's libertarian. If you want to live your life in whatever way you fucking want and you don't negatively affect other people and you don't need to shove yourself in the wrong fucking bathroom and things like that, I have no issue with it and I'll support you. You're not trying to fucking play on women's fucking sports teams and things like that. You just want to live your life. That's fine. But when we start going down this fucking, as a cis white male, get the fuck out of here, dude. Enough is enough, man. I have my limits. And he could have given that exact same response without saying shit like that, and it would have been just as good. But he didn't. He fucking pandered. He pandered to the fucking woke mob. And I would expect more from a guy like Graham Plattner on that. Just say, you don't need to say, you don't need to even say as a, he didn't need to say anything. He didn't need to say as a white male, as a straight white male, as a cis white male. It's fucking irrelevant. You're a human being, dude. You're a fucking human being, just like everybody else is. That shit, I'm sorry, guys. That's a big fucking no-no to me. And here's the problem. It's not so much that, but what that tells me about him is that he's going to fucking pander for votes. Which tells me he's not as authentic as we thought he is. Tallarico, shit, he's out there fucking, hey, look, I'm single. I'm fucking following fucking porn stars and OnlyFans models. Fucking deal with it. That's authenticity. All right. But this whole like fucking tone policing and we got to use the right verbiage and words and we don't want to offend anybody. Nah, dog. Fuck off with that. You can support everyone without catering to the insanity, dude. Me personally. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Let's see what you guys thought about Tallarico. Tallarico gets an 85% support. Chat doesn't give a fuck about Tallarico hanging out and looking and following hot bitches. Doesn't care. Chat doesn't care. So now we're going to do that reverse poll. Say, do you support Plattner's response to what we just watched? All right. So we saw Tallarico get drug. Now we're going to see what you guys feel about Plattner's response. Okay. What do you guys think? You support that? You support his message he just put out? The pandering? Let me know what you think. Okay. Again, it's not that big of a deal, but it just tells me that it just to me feels like it's just inauthentic. And I don't need another fucking inauthentic politician in office. I would much rather have a guy like James Tallarico who's like, look, I follow hot bitches on Instagram, dog. My bad. Sorry, I'm single. Like, cool, dude. Let's, you know what I mean? Maybe I'm being crazy, but you guys are going to tell me. You guys are going to tell me in the poll. That's why the polls are so great. Also, let's talk about our girl. Now, it's tough to complain about this, ladies and gentlemen. Have you guys seen this? I am a very staunch seat when I talk about any candidate takes a single fucking dime from AIPAC is a no-go. Well, look at this. Look at this. Miss AOC 0.00. Whoa. Whoa. Wow. Is that not surprising? I was actually shocked when I saw this. I thought for sure, she would be a part of the crew. This is interesting. Yeah, it's true. This is straight from APAC Tracker. And they're very good about this. I can't lie. I don't know where she gets her money. Might be from Islam, might be from the left. But at least it ain't from fucking APAC. All right. You don't believe it? All right, well, go complain to APAC Tracker because they're pretty good at it. And again, I know you don't want to like AOC. I'm not telling you to like AOC. I wouldn't vote for AOC. But this is impressive to me. All right. She's at least not selling out. She's a quiet Zionist. She's quiet, but she's taking $0 from them. I don't know, maybe. I'm just saying. Not somebody I'd vote for, not somebody I'd support. I think she's way fucking out there. But, hey, again, as she said here herself, seen any disinformation about this lately. So she posted this. This is her own account. All right. And she also has, where is it? Oh, it's not on here. But yeah, not ever, not in any of her campaigns. It's just something to think about, guys. She's using a shell company? I don't know, maybe. Maybe she is. You can keep saying that, guys. I'm just telling you. Unlike 400 other congressmen, she's not taking the money directly from AIPAC. Okay, prove it. Show me the documents. I'm just saying. You can say that, but as far as I see, this is AIPAC Tracker, which is the legitimate source for finding out who's taking money. She's at 0. So talk all the shit you want, but I respect her for that. That's for sure. Now, when we get into a little bit more insanity here, did you guys see Virginia's first female governor, Abigail Spanberger? This is her back in the days of COVID. Former CIA operative wearing apparently a bag on her head with looks like a video card fan that's designed to stop her from getting COVID, I guess. When you want to talk about absolute fucking psychopaths. So congrats to Virginia. Do we have anybody in Virginia here? This is your new governor. Literal psychopath. Yeah, she doesn't look crazy at all, Michael. Nothing crazy about what we're looking at here. Absolutely fucking insane. All right, let's go back and see what you guys thought about Graham's response. So everybody, we had like an 85% support of Tallarico's issues, and the reverse of that. People said reverse that. 73% said no, that was not the appropriate response. 27% said yes, and I'm agreeing with you guys. That was a pandering response. I don't like pandering responses from anybody. And my point is, he didn't need to stand on business or be rude. He could have literally answered the question the exact same way without doing the fucking woke fucking verbiage bullshit that you got to do. Now, it's this time of the show that we move on to everybody's favorite part of the show. The part of the show that's definitely going to get us kicked off of YouTube eventually. Maybe get us sued by Kash Patel's girlfriend at some point. And that is, of course, as we move into the politics of our world's greatest ally. All right, let's hit the super chats first before we jump into the spiciest part of the video. We got some very interesting ones to talk about. We're going to do some fact checking from last night's debate. Are you guys, who here watched last night's debate? Who here watched last night's debate? We're going to do some fact checking of some things that were said last night as we get into that. Because, yeah, there were some things I put forward as fact that I was told are not true. And And we're going to address those things. So stand by as we hit our super chats and we get into that. All right. Who's our greatest ally? Military, strategic, economic, America first. Israel's our greatest ally. Israel's flags in the chat, boys. Get those flags drummed up. Leon, that's our greatest ally. But seriously, Australia. Australia is our greatest ally. Australia is the one country that since World War II has fought alongside us in every goddamn conflict, including Vietnam, all the way to the end, including the global war on terror. Beyond Canada, beyond everybody, Australia has been our greatest ally, and it's not even close. So that is our actual greatest ally. All right. David, thank you very much. No comment. Pierce says Al-Sharar was in Syria receiving weapons being trafficked by the CIA through Annex and Benghazi to destabilize Syria on behalf of... Yes, I did a whole video on exactly that where I talked about it. He's our greatest allies guy. Locals in Libya knew, and that's why they attacked the embassy. Yes, sir. Daniel Sten from Australia, our greatest ally. You think do you think Trump is on the EpiPen files or even the Rothschild? Yeah, well, he is. And actually, it's coming out of the Justice Department now. If you haven't seen, a bunch of Justice Department insiders are telling congressional Republicans that the Epstein files are 10 times worse for Donald Trump than anybody possibly could have realized. So, yeah, we have to wait to see, but that apparently looks like what it's going to be. Day 4, still respectfully cranking hog. Respectfully bussing is cranking that hog. The only people shot in Butler was a patsy on the roof and the poor guy sitting behind Trump. I think you're probably right. But I don't know. What's your thoughts on O'Neill suing Brent? You need to go back and do you think the lawsuit will blow up in Rob's face? We covered this whole thing earlier in the live stream. I'm not going to do it again when I got into defamation law. But will it blow up in Rob's face? If he goes through with it and Brent says, fuck you, let's do it. Yeah, I think it actually will. I don't think there's any chance Rob can win that lawsuit. And you don't want to lose a defamation lawsuit as a public figure on the plaintiff side. I think he's posturing, and I think it's a really dumb thing for him to have done. But we'll have to wait and see. Your community needs a name. Everyone spitball super chats. All right, the Munchies, the Wangsteins. Look, here's the problem. Here's the problem, guys. The Wang jokes are hilarious. The problem is Fuentes already has Wang Af, right? And even though it's not connected, Dr. Wang is not connected to Wang Af at all. If we do a Wang type community, the Wangsters, it's gonna look like a ripoff of Nick, and we can't rip off Nick. Okay, so we need something that's not the Munchies, something Munchy, but we can't do Wangsteins or anything Wang related because Nick's already got Wang F, and we don't want to look like we're trying to copy him, even though it's a completely different story, right? Still there for the Toys for Tots. Love you and JD. Yeah, we'll be there. That's what we're gonna do. That's the plan for the charity stream. Shapiro's yarmulke is getting. Yeah, we talked about this. We talked about this. It just keeps growing. I don't know how it gets as big as it is, but it's gigantic now. It is a shrimp burrow at this point. Mamdani, maybe drinking, says Mamdani won't be as bad as some fear, and he won't be as good as some hope. He's just a mayor, and campaign promises are always BS. Yeah, he doesn't have a whole lot of power. That's the other thing. He's not going to be able to do 90% of what he promised, and he's not going to be able to do 90% of what people are worried about. So be worried about the governor more than you're worried about him, right? But what he can do is with the police is he can cause a lot of fucking problems by getting rid of the police. I can promise you that. That's probably the biggest threat that he could do is fuck with the police and the anti-terrorism task force and all that different stuff. As a 100% compensated veteran, well, happy Veterans Day. I'm sick of rich cunts with a watch on his or her wrist that costs as much as my house. I'm probably not the only one. That got said on CNN the other night. To one of the hosts said the reason why you don't understand it is because rich people with fucking Rolexes keep criticizing people in America, which, yeah. Apologize. Whiskey Fingers, be here for and JD. Hell yeah, brother. Damn voice text to chat of the rich telling me as a veteran I am too well compensated. Yeah, we're not that well compensated, homie. I mean, if you're like, I'm retired and 100% and it's nice, but like, It is, but I mean, I've had to fucking, I had to work for it, obviously, and it's a good backstop, but it's not enough to live off of. You know what I mean? And I have a lot of health issues. And I'm constantly at the doctor and constantly getting surgeries. So There's a lot of to that side of things people don't think about, unfortunately. Call Life, $10, 46-year-old, 3 times Trump voter, and I will never vote for another Republican against unless the entire platform changes, and 100% America first. I am a now 46-year-old groiper. I'm telling you, we had a 65-year-old groiper in the chat the other day. Have watched so many Fuentes podcasts. I'm 100% with him. This is a new thing. Like, he is actually starting to pull in a lot of older demographic, which is, it's not that surprising. He's amazing, well-spoken. He's 10 times. Here's the thing. I'm not going to be like guys like you heard Matt complain, like, oh, he's this fucking stupid white nationalist, yada, yada, yada. Call him whatever you want. He is one of the best pure speakers I think I've ever seen. And I'm just talking about pure speech. It doesn't matter what the words are coming out of his mouth, but his ability to speak is some of the best I've ever seen. Even though I don't agree with a lot of what he says, just being that good of a speaker is of insane talent. You're spot on with Graham. Left the Dems when they went towards the insanity. Yeah, he shouldn't have done that, man. I like a lot of what he says. All right, so I'm not trying to judge him too much, but like, don't pander, bro. Especially as a combat veteran, you don't fucking pander to anything. Oh shit, Bobby with the gigantic, Jesus, dude. Thank you very much. $200 dono. Add this my other dono to the kids. Give them blessed Christmas. All right, Bobby, just wait for the charity stream, guys. I think we're close to $1,000 already, though, between me and JD, which is going to be nice. We're going to start that charity stream with close to $1,000, which is going to be awesome. So thank you very much, Bobby. That money is pinned in. We're at $600 on my end for the charity stream. Don't worry, guys. I'm keeping track. We're going to have receipts for everything. So that will add it to it. All right, Bobby, thank you. I bet I could wipe my butt with just one of Ben Shapiro's eyebrows. Probably. Did Matt's duct tape being cats joke make you mad? I'm still about what he said about Mia's ears passionate. Didn't make me mad. It was a joke. But I wouldn't make jokes like that about cats. AOC is backed by Jewish Israeli billionaires. That's why she's awfully quiet about Palestine now. She sold out, just like Tulsi. Well, maybe. How are you so gifted at geopolitics analysis? This is better than the vet bro gossip bullshit. You have good wisdom, and vet bro gossip doesn't suit you. Well, we don't do vet bro gossip anymore. Here's the thing, guys. I like to do comedy, man. I like to do comedy, riffing and roasting. If you've seen my other channel, American Thor, that's all we do is just make fun of fucking fake alpha male douchebags. I really like that type of approach. That's what I wanted the vet bro content to be. Like, I wanted to be able to like make fun of people like Jocko and Andrew Bustamante, and it'd be fun. Tim Kennedy was different because he's a piece of shit and it's actual stolen valor. But in the vet bro space, dude, like, people don't think jokes are funny. Everybody's very, very, very sensitive. And the audience are very, very veterans attacking veterans. If you do any type of joke, I just said, fuck it, man. Not only that, but I don't like the feeling of punching down at people. And I'm not saying this to like be arrogant or brag, but now my platform is bigger than pretty much everybody's in the vet bro space. And so then it just feels like punching down, and it just kind of feels lame. You know what I mean? I'm not, people that know me well is like, I'm a really like kind person. I think anybody you talk to that's my friend will tell you, like, I will bend over backwards to help anybody. I'm not trying to actually hurt anybody. But I do like to like riff and make fun of shit. You know what I mean? Peg Watson, right? I like to do the comedy stuff. But in the veteran space, you can't make fun of anybody, or people just lose their mind and fucking, it is what it is. So that's why we switched we didn't really switch. It just is what it is. So geopolitical analysis. I mean, man, I was a Green Beret, right? For 10 years, a little over 10 years. And so, I mean, got a lot of experience. Doesn't make me an expert necessarily, but I think it gives me a lot of perspective. So anyway, that's why we don't do any vet bro content anymore, just because like it actually, I know I actually like hurt people's feelings legitimately. They reached out to me. Like me doing like comedy riff jokes, like literally reached out to me like, man, you really fucking hurt my feelings with that. And so I was like, fuck. All right, well, I don't know. Dan Crenshaw is a politician. Yes. So the great thing is politicians like Dan Crenshaw, he's fucking a fair target. 100%, right? Politician vets are fair targets. But like, I'm not trying to fucking hurt people's feelings, man, when I'm just trying to joke around. And if you've seen, dude, my stuff with like Ollie Sobe, you know what I mean? Like Ollie got mad at me and we talked offline, and like I don't even want to hurt some of those guys' feelings, man. So I'm just trying to have a good time, and comedy isn't funny to the veteran space. So we moved on. And you know, we're here, and we're doing just as good. So that's what we're going to be moving forward with. We're going to keep doing current events. We're going to cover, guys. Everybody thinks like, oh, you're done with military content. I'm not, guys. I'm the military content guy, and I'm going to continue to be. But like, we need some news. We need some news coming out of the military. Like, there's nothing fucking going on, guys. You know what I mean? It's just like, what do we got going on? Like, maybe Venezuela might kick off. The government was shut down for a long time. There's nothing going on, man. So I can promise you the second some crazy geopolitical pops off, or foreign conflict pops off, or a war pops off, we'll be right there, man. But for now, this is what we got going on, right? Because it's interesting. The big news is the MAGA civil war and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I'll be your guy once we got something to talk about, but we don't right now. But thank you very much. Sorry, that was long-winded explanation of why, we're not doing vet bro stuff. I could continue to, like, I promise you guys, I could use my platform to just keep shitting on people for fucking massive views. And I don't know. I don't want to do it now that my channel's as big as it is. Doesn't feel good. And I wasn't trying to hurt anybody's feelings to begin with. All right. Anyway, BMW. All right, look at this, guys. Wow. My buddy, our firefighter bros in the chat. Sick shirt. Thank you for your service and all the veterans. No matter what MOS, sign on the dotted line to serve your country. Most won't understand. Rangers lead the way. Thank you, brother. And yeah, we got on BMW's tank right now. All right. The bag photo was from January 6th. Security gave them. Since you're talking about your ally, you should pull up my message, brother. I can't do it midstream. I can't pull out my phone and start trying to get through stuff. I'll have to do it afterward. Yes, the final boss of woke. Yeah, they're the identity politics fucking kings, guys. Way more than the left. That image was taken out of context. Her master would not allow her to remove the bag. Image taken out. Graham, I'm a whiny little bitch. Yeah, I mean, I'll give you. God, he had me like, he was hook, line, and sinker in me bringing in like combat vet, 4 deployments, badass. No more fucking oligarchies. No more fucking military industrial complex. And the woke pandering. Like, sad. Too bad. Guardian article on IDF leaks. Yeah, we'll have to look at that. Of our agreement. Yeah. I mean, you have Minuteman munchies. Damn right, Skippy us Aussies got your 6. Yeah, hell yeah, brother. That's an Aussie. Yep. I love Australia, man. My funnest country to ever work with. You guys, I got a whole video on me in Australia. It's got almost like 1 million views, by the way. If you look back through my content, VFT Australia, I show all the videos of the stuff we used to do in Australia and everything and that. So we actually have a lot of Australian viewers on the channel. Just a hunch, but Munchkin Militia. Ooh, Munchkin Militia is a pretty good one. I like that. Ben's red beanie looks like a bullshit button. Nate started listening with CK and not left since. Yeah, and guys, hey, here's another thing, right? Let me explain this after your comment, because a lot of people are like, "Why are you not still covering Charlie Kirk?" All right, and haven't left since. I've never missed a stream now, and I pass on your channel to others. Happy Veterans Day. Appreciate your service. Look. I'm sure you've seen a lot of other channels have 10 times the amount of Charlie Kirk videos as that I do. And it's not that I'm not going to keep continuing to follow the case. It's that for me, we've hit a point to where there's no new information that has come out. And for me to continue doing videos on Charlie Kirk would just be grifting. And people will call me a grifter anyway because I did videos on it. But I'm not going to literally just grift the subject of Charlie Kirk for views unless I have something beneficial to put out to you. Once we get new information out, right, then, or the trial, by the way, the trial starts in January. When the trial picks back up in January, like, trust me, we'll be live streaming that bitch start to finish, right? But for now, I'm not going to put out, I think my last Charlie Kirk video, we talked about a little bit here and there on live, but I think my last Charlie Kirk video was like 10 videos ago, right? It's not that I'm not trying to stop covering it. It's just that I don't want to grift, right? So if there's new information, then we'll knock some stuff out. But until then, just going to keep doing what we're doing. But thank you. Have you talked about ghost teams? I have not. Sorry, this question is just too personal, mate. Do you have a hard time adjusting to civilian life? This is a good question. After the high-level brutal missions and retirement. Okay, so everybody kind of has a different experience. Because I medically retired from a military freefall accident, had to have both my shoulders completely reconstructed, which took about 9 months. While I went through the retirement process, I kind of went through like the poopy faced, woe is me, depression, side of things while I was going through the retirement process. So by the time I actually got out, I had already sort of figured out what I wanted to do, sort of come to acceptance with it, found a purpose. So once I was in the civilian world, it actually really wasn't that bad, but like I did go through a really tough adjustment point coming off of the teams, like off of the Special Forces ODAs. That to me was really, really difficult for a while. And it's hard to find anything to replace that because it's such an insane adrenaline rushed type of career. But I did struggle for a while. But yeah, by the time I retired, I was in a pretty good spot. So hopefully that answered it. And nothing's too personal here, man. I'm an open book. People that have been on this channel for a long time know that I cover any subject, and I try to talk about it as authentically as I can. Keaton David, hotel bombing in Jerusalem around 1946, set president for terrorists in the Middle East. Why doesn't anyone remember that? Guess who did it? Google it. I'm going to guess they did it. Would be my guess. Munchlisha. That's a pretty good one. All right. We made it through the supus. Let's get into the most spicy part of the stream. And anytime we're going to get into the spicy part, we got to start with some comedy. And of course, anybody who wants to hit some greatest ally comedy, it's Tim Dillon. Let's see what he's got to say.
This straight. I'm just trying to understand this. The money to build the educational institutions and the infrastructure in America, that gets shipped to Israel.
Yep.
The Marines and the National Guard get sent into the cities where that money could have been used to better the lives of the people.
Yep.
That seems to make no sense. We don't have the money for this, and we're in $30-something trillion worth of debt. So why we're continuing to throw money at this has to be explained to you by an influencer. An army of influencers. Because anyone would just make the argument that this is insane. Like a 9-year-old would be able to forget Jews, Muslims, the Middle East, Christian. Who cares? Just the facts on the ground of this country. Our military general, Pete Hegseth, the tough guy from Fox News, is going, we want our generals to be thin and not have beards. How about we run our own country, Pete? Wouldn't that might be good too.
Oh, God, you got to love Tim. You got to love Tim. That was the debate last night. Was that not the debate last night? Was me saying, how about we fix our own country instead of sending $1 billion to the other country? That was the entire debate, which, as he just said, it seems like the other side of that argument is just literally insane, right? Regardless of what your reasons are, you would think in America that would be that'd be normal. I want to take a little trip down history lane, guys. History lane. We talk about politicians who actually did stand up to AIPAC and things like that. There was 2 of them. First one was Richard Nixon. Some people don't know this. Let's see what he had to say.
Explain something about what is called the Jewish lobby in this country. Their belief is that being for Israel first, that does not mean you're putting America second. An American president, however, has to approach it in a different way, in my opinion. He's got always to think first of what is best for America. An American president must make a decision that does not, in effect, give the Israelis a blank check. And one example of that is a decision that I made. I decided early on in our administration that we were going to seek good relations with Egypt and others of Israel's neighbors. Many of my Israeli friends didn't like that because they wanted a special relationship with Israel and Israel only.
Now, wow. You were all, let's talk about this. We're all Americans. We all grew up together reading our history books about how Nixon was a crook, about how Nixon was the most evil president. And what it turns out we learn is that Nixon was actually a very, very good America First president. And you learn a lot of things that Watergate is not what we thought it was in the history books. Do you notice how Nixon disavowed the Israel lobby, and very quickly after that, Watergate happened? You realize that? You realize how our history works? Yeah. We learn it's wild that 2025 we're learning things like that. You know what I mean? 1973, this same conversation of America versus Israel first was happening in 1973. And the presidents, the two presidents, we're going to talk about the second president. Two of the presidents, Richard Nixon, what did they do to him? They fucking smeared him, and they set him up, and they used Watergate to make him look like the bad guy, which he was not. He was not at all. And then the one president before that, not that long before that, 10 years before that, who stood up to them and said, you can't have a nuclear program, and who said, I won't kiss your wall. The last president who refused it, JFK, father of the Green Berets. By the way, if you didn't know, JFK is, if you didn't know, where we go to school, the JFK SWCC, right? John F. Kennedy Center, or the Special Warfare Center in school, where we go to the Q course, named after JFK. Beloved by Green Berets, was the last one who refused to kiss the wall, who refused to allow them to have nukes. And what did they do to JFK? Isn't that interesting? This isn't new, guys. In 2025, this is going back 60, 70 years. This same shit. Over and over and over and fucking over again. Except now the difference is in 2025, everybody is woken up. Everybody has woken up. And we can look back on history. JFK, well, JFK hasn't been vindicated because he's also known as one of the world or one of the country's best presidents anyway. But people like Nixon have been vindicated. Nixon has been vindicated now that we know what we know. So, just some things to think about when we take a trip down history lane, that this is not new. But let's go a little bit further. So, we're going to talk about this. I made this point for those of you who watched the debate last night when we talked about the clean break. I made the point that, yes, it was a Israel-funded strategy handed to Benjamin Netanyahu developed in 1996, handed to him, which he brought to the United States in 2002 after 9/11, put forth before Congress, that convinced us to invade Iraq and Syria and topple Lebanon and Libya and Sudan and Somalia. And Iran's the only one left, the 7 countries. And we were told that was lies. That's all lies. That never happened, right? That never happened. Well, why don't we listen to the people involved and see what they have to say? The Bush administration, the people in the Pentagon, of this exact thing.
They wanted us to destabilize the Middle East, turn it upside down, make it under our control. I went through the Pentagon 10 days after 9/11. I went downstairs. I was leaving the Pentagon, and an officer from the Joint Staff called me into his office, and he said, I want you to know, he said, sir, we're going to attack Iraq. And I said, why? He said, we don't know. He said, I said, well, did they tie Saddam to 9/11? He said, no.
What were we told last night? That all the countries around the world had all the intel and they're the ones that convinced us? No, that's not what the top levels of the DOD at the Pentagon at the time have to say, is it? Interesting. Let's keep going.
And then I came back to the Pentagon about 6 weeks later. I saw the same officer. I said, why haven't we attacked Iraq? We still going to attack Iraq? He said, oh, sorry. He says, it's worse than that. He pulled up a piece of paper off his desk. He said, I just got this memo from the Secretary of Defense's office that says we're going to attack and destroy the governments in 7 countries in 5 years.
Huh.
We're going to start with
Who said that last night? Was that Nate?
Iraq, and then we're going to move to Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Iran.
Huh. It's almost like Nate knows his facts.
I said, is that a classified memo? He said, yes, sir. I said, well, don't show it to me. This country was taken over by a group of people with a policy coup.
Look at that. What's that say? In 2002, Prime Minister Netanyahu convinced the United States to attack Iraq because he believed Saddam Hussein was making nuclear weapons. Historical fact. Historical fact. Huh. Jasmine said, that's exactly what you said verbatim. I did. Huh. Interesting. You see what gaslighting looks like, guys? Did you see that last night? When I brought up literal, objective, historical fact put forward by the Pentagon, and we were told that's not true. Looks like Nate's a little bit smarter than people realized, huh? Nate knows a little bit more about our history than we thought. Interesting, huh? Yeah, it's funny. Oh, let's do some more fact checking. We also had this. Let's watch this. Because we were told this isn't true as well. This is literally at the JNS. Former government official, one of the top levels of Meta, had this to say.
We banned content with harmful stereotypes about Jews, such as the claim that Jews run the world or other major institutions. We updated our policies to recognize that the term Zionist can be used as a proxy for Jews and Israelis. We banned content claiming Zionists run the world or control the media, and we do not allow for dehumanizing comparisons of Zionists. It's a delicate balance between safety and expression. My role is to ensure that the voices of Israelis and the Jewish community are heard in this policymaking process.
Did we say that? Isn't that what we said? Isn't that verbatim what we said about Meta last night? And what were we told? Oh, that's not true. Straight from Meta. Like I said. That's weird. You know, let's do another one. What were we told when I said, I talked about what they were going to do with Gaza, right? And we were told what? It's just all bullshit, fake money being pumped in there. There's no plan. Okay. Watch this one. Because this details it with the PowerPoint in it that I was talking about. Let's take a look. Let's do some fact check.
We have an honest discussion about the state of politics in America, because last night, Democrats swept the ballots, not just the big ones like mayor of New York City and governors of Virginia and New Jersey, but in key swing states across the country. Local elections and districts flipped from leaning red to blue. Latest polls show Trump's approval rating among people under 30 has dropped to 20% and 37% overall. It was well over 50% at inauguration. And I try to tell you this during the recent No Kings rally. A huge proportion of Americans are not happy with how things are going. And yet the MAGA right tried to say I was delusional, but you just can't call everything you don't want to hear fake news. Being in denial, it doesn't change reality. I said it then, and I'll say it again. Americans are fed up with being told the economy is good.
This is the wrong one, actually. My bad. That's not the one on our... I don't know how that got pulled up. We're looking for our Gaza report. My bad. I actually pulled the wrong one up on there. Is it? Here it is.
What if I told you Gaza already has a business plan, not for peace, not for rebuilding lives, but for luxury resorts, AI tech hubs, and billion-dollar highways? I don't usually touch the Israel-Palestine debate in short form. It's too complex for 90 seconds. I save it for the podcast. But yesterday, I posted one simple fact. Most of the world supports the Palestinian people, while Israel spends hundreds of millions on propaganda to cover that up. And like clockwork, outpoured the uninformed hot takes. So let's throw one more truth into the mix. Last week, Netanyahu was in town with Trump. They unveiled a 20-point plan to end the war, built by Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law,
Who said
and billionaire Steve Witkoff, Trump's special envoy to the Middle East and his partner in a crypto company, by the way. The plan? Keep the IDF in Gaza while a board of peace led by Trump and overseen by none other than Tony Blair.
Who were we told last night had nothing to do with it? You remember that? Tony Blair's got nothing to do with this. That's what we were told last night. Oh, look at that. Let's keep moving.
The globalist who gave us the Iraq war while he manages the transition. No ceasefire, no two-state solution. It's not a peace plan. It's a takeover plan. Because what they didn't show you was the actual blueprint.
Oh, what's this? The Great Trust. From a demolished Iranian proxy to a prosperous Abrahamic ally. We were told this is fake. We were told this was fake last night, but who talked about this last night? Who said this was exactly what was happening in Gaza? Was that Nate? Was that Nate that talked about this word for word? Talked about Tony Blair being in charge of it? Talked about Jared Kushner setting it all up, and we were told all fake. This lies. I was wrong. Let's keep going.
For New Gaza, also drafted by Kushner and Witkoff, and backed by Saudi Arabia and the UAE under
who I also said Saudi Arabia and UAE were the ones funding it, didn't I? And we were told that's a lie. Here we go. Keep moving.
For a shiny new name, the Great Trust. Gaza reconstruction, economic acceleration, and transformation. It's all in the slides.
Here's the PowerPoint.
Gaza, Trump, Riviera and Islands, waterfront luxury condos and hotels, the Elon Musk Smart Manufacturing Zone, MBS and MBZ Central Highway, named after Saudi and Emirati rulers, and the American Data Safe Haven. Who wants to bet Larry Ellison gets this plot? And a nice little section for unexploded bomb clearance. Number one, this whole protect against the Muslim shtick, it's getting old. Saudi Arabia and the UAE are deep in this deal. Number two, how's Jared Kushner, who already took $3.2 billion from Middle Eastern sovereign funds, how is he in charge of both the official Israeli peace deal and the business deal to profit from it? And finally, why is it always normal for billionaires to kick people out of their homes so they can gentrify the land and call it stability? Their own documents say they want to turn Gaza into a $320 billion asset within 10 years. This is not charity. It's not peace. It's the same boys club running the same money play with human lives as collateral.
I said all those things last night, and I was told those are all lies. Weren't we? We were told that, chat, weren't we? Those are all lies. No, Nate, you're lying. He just pulled all the PowerPoints. I told you all the PowerPoints exist. It's all fact. It's all there. See how this works? But you know what I didn't do last night? Is I didn't real-time fact check and get on ChatGPT and get on Google and try to, every time anybody says anything, put it into the computer real quick. Because that's a debate. I'm not going to do that. I already know my facts are true. I already know my facts are right. But this guy said I got cooked last night. Okay. Yeah, sure, man. If you think that. Seems like I was the one that had all the actual facts that have all just been backed up for you. Just saying. Think what you want. But I just showed you all the things I said. Right there. I don't know. You guys can think what you want. Now, it's interesting because there's also been some other people vindicated recently. And that's another one here. Pat Buchanan. You guys remember him? He was canceled. He was deplatformed. He disappeared out of the American system completely because he had the audacity.
You also said that Congress is an Israeli-occupied territory. Now, what do you mean by that?
Congress of the United States is Israeli-occupied territory. What I meant by that is the most powerful lobby in Washington, which Congress can't stand up to, is certainly the Israeli lobby. It has gotten its way in this town year in and year out. And I don't think the automatic votes of the Congress of the United States for $3 and $4 billion worth of aid to Israel are necessarily in the national interest of the United States. And that comment, which is to ridicule the subservience of the Congress of the United States, is perfectly valid.
There you go. That's all he did. That's all he said. And they completely banned him from U.S. politics. Just gone. Just gone. Let's see some new comments here by our favorite Mark Levine. He just came out and said this yesterday, I believe.
This is our country. We're celebrating our country. Every July 4th, we're celebrating the principles that undergird our country. If you reject Judaism and you reject Christianity and you reject the link of the two, you reject the Bible.
Hey, we'll talk about that.
If you reject Judaism and Christianity and the brotherhood and the sisterhood of the two, not only are you rejecting our founding, you're rejecting our country.
Wow. If you reject Judaism, you're rejecting America. Now, I know that he knows better than this, and I know that he knows history to know that none of that is true. America wasn't founded on Judeo values. Whether you like it or not, America was founded on Christian values. That's the truth. And just so you guys know, the whole Judeo-Christian, that term didn't exist before about 1948 in the Schofield Bible. It didn't exist because it's an oxymoron. You can't be Judeo-Christian. That's not how the religions work. One replaced the other, right? Christ became the living God, who that religion denounces. They believe he is, and this is not my opinion, this is in the Talmud, that he is, Jesus Christ, is burning in hell in his own excrement. They believe, and you can read it yourself, that the Virgin Mary was a whore. There is no Judeo-Christian. That's not a thing. It's a propaganda tool that was put forth by in the 40s. So no, there's no, if you denounce one, you're not American. I'm not saying you should denounce either. I'm just saying they have that has nothing to do with America or its founding. That is a massive propaganda tool. Not real at all. So I don't know what is he talking about? If you reject that, you reject America. That's not how any of this works. But let's take the opposite effect of that. And let's see what Tucker had to say.
The Republican Party completely betrayed its voters by obsessing over Israel. It's just a fact. Like, what is this? It's a country of 9 million people. It's 9 million people, no resources, no value at all. I'm not against it. I'm just saying, like, we're a country of 350 million people. We're the most important country in the world. And practically every member of Congress spends all day talking about Israel. What the hell is this? Trump is elected. Who's the first person to visit? Bibi. Then he comes again. Then he comes again. And it's like the energy of the administration and of the entire U.S. government is all of a sudden about Iran. A war with Iran? Really?
Obviously, we'd like to see a regime change. At least I would in Iran, just as I would like to see in Iraq.
How many people do you know who've been killed by Iran in the United States in your lifetime? Zero, because that's the number.
Yep.
How many people do you know who've died of a drug OD? Some. Maybe you have a nephew who did. I'm mad at our leaders for spending their time and my money focusing on someone else's country.
And they want you to hate Tucker. You notice that? They want you to hate Tucker. Because Tucker's America First. That's as America First as it gets. But they want you to hate him. They want you to cancel him. They want you to censor him. They want him deplatformed. Why? Because he wants the focus to be on the American people? Let's get another one. And why not? Let's get a little Anna Kasparian in here. Cook things up a little bit. You gotta.
All the money out, okay? But if we have to pick between corporate interests and foreign interests, we can only have one. I want all foreign money out.
Yeah, I think
period.
you've been very consistent on this issue, and something that I think you and I will align on. I don't want to be shipping off $40 billion to Argentina either.
I totally agree with
yeah,
you.
I don't.
Why are we bailing out
We
Argentina?
should be elevating and prioritizing the American people.
Yes.
Full stop. End of story. No argument. I don't want to be sending billions of dollars to Ukraine or Israel. I just don't. I care about America. That's it.
I want.
Wow. It's almost like Democrats and conservatives that are America first. Look at this guy. Who cares what that chick thinks? This guy doesn't like what she just said. Think about this. Think about this. This guy's so fucking dumb and his IQ is so low because he's a maggot, right? That he just listened to the most America first thing ever. And he goes, who cares what she says? This is how fucking stupid people are. Just based off what she said. That was the most America first thing ever. She says, I don't want our money getting sent to all these fucking foreign governments. I want it spent on the American people. And dipshits like that go, don't listen to her. The fuck are you talking about, dude? Go back to your greatest ally's country, dude, if you feel that way. Get the fuck out of America. You don't need to be here. We're America first here, bro. Whether you're a leftist, liberal like Anna Kasparian, or you're Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, or fucking whoever from the far left to far right, if you're putting forward America first messages and policies, we should be supporting that. We should be uniting that together. You not fucking get it yet? The left-right divide is fucking fake. It's fake. It's a facade. Right? It's put forward by the elites to keep you fucking dipshits like that guy hating the other side that has no effect on your life. That's the truth. Like, use your fucking brain a little bit and think, if you're a far-right MAGA supporter, does a local Democrat in your town have any negative effect on your life? Or does the fucking billionaire class that's raping the shit out of you have more of an effect on your life? You ever think about that? This is fucking God. I know. I'm sorry. I know the vast majority of our chat right here is. You get it. That's why we're here. But you just get some of these people that are just like, look at this guy. Who cares what that Cheeks thinks? As she's giving like one of the best America first statements ever. God, there's a fucking dumbest fucking people, dude. You're retarded. And I don't mean that rude. I mean that objectively. Your IQ is below 70. You are legitimately retarded. And I'm not trying to insult people that are mentally handicapped. I'm saying this guy right here, is fucking retarded. Objectively retarded. It's not debatable. You're a fucking retard. Take that to the bank. Go look. What I want you to do is go look in the mirror in your bathroom and just stare at it in the mirror for a while and go, he's right. I'm fucking retarded. And I didn't even know. And then maybe open a fucking book. Any book. Even if it's fucking, go put on Bluey. Maybe go put on an episode of Bluey. Maybe that's more your speed. Get the fuck out of my channel. You don't need to be here. You don't have the fucking comprehension capacity for this. All right. Let's now see what somebody actually intelligent has to say about this whole thing. Come on. Let's go. Here we go. Let's do this one. Oh, yeah, here we go.
And on the same night that Republicans are getting curb stomped because the economy sucks, What is Ted Cruz talking about? No, guys, you don't get it. Nick Fuentes really is a Nazi because he said Hitler's cool. Shut up. Nobody cares. Hitler is dead. The Nazis don't exist. When people say you're a Hitler, Stalin apologist, that means as much as if you said I'm a Oliver Cromwell apologist. Who fucking cares? They're dead. It's history. It's 100 years ago. You would think the way these politicians talk that the NSDAP is on the ballot, that it's the 30s. It's not. People are edgelords now. It's called the internet, Grandpa. It's called the internet, old man. People make jokes. They make jokes because you react this way. We don't care. Anyway.
I mean, if you hate that guy, it is what it is. But don't worry. Hollywood has now weighed in on this whole thing. So here we go. And not defeating stereotypes, Hollywood has come out and said, Hollywood actors may be blacklisted for anti-Semitism under Paramount's, who, by the way, is owned by, who's Paramount owned by now? Larry Ellison's son, David Ellison. Wow, shocker. New anti-woke leadership. Anti-woke, huh? Clever there, huh? Paramount is reportedly maintaining a list of actors it will not work with because they are deemed anti-Semitic. That's not helping the tropes, Hollywood. You know, the trope of like Hollywood's owned by the Jays. That's not helping the tropes when you guys come out and say this shit. Really? Oy vey, anti-Semitism. Are you guys not fucking tired of this yet? Not exhausted by this yet? It's just, it's too much. It becomes too much at some point where you say, fuck it. Right. And to my point of just being exhausted, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Verbatim.
Thing I'm reading, and it's like, if you have a problem with any of that, you hate Jews and you are a Nazi. I was like, what? Wait, I don't like my politicians not knowing which country they love more. I don't like being censored for pointing out things that are true. I don't like a foreign country dictating censorship terms and destroying the First Amendment in my country. I don't like being surveilled by drones run out of Israel. I don't like America or Germany's cybersecurity in the hands of Israel. I don't like the sycophantic dedication that American politicians have to Israel when Israel seems ready and willing to pivot to China the moment they don't get what they want from us.
That's what I said last night. I got told that's not true.
Why would we be okay with any of this? And why would opposing this have any bearing on how we feel about Jewish individuals? It's a ridiculous lie. Anti-Semitism doesn't exist, isn't a real thing. And their outrage and their panic right now is revealing that our peaceful revelation of the scams is having a massive and powerful effect. Like everything I'm reading, and it's like, if you have a problem.
Seems like you nailed it. I mean, I don't know. We could really explain it a whole lot better than that. It's right on the money. Right on the money. And one final one before we jump into Super Chats. It's starting to hit the mainstream. And even Trump's family is starting to get roasted when they try to do events over it. Take a look. This guy's based. Great country accent, too.
I'd like to ask about your father's relationship with Israel. He's taken over $230 million from pro-Israel groups. During the summer against Iran, even though he advised against it, Israel still attacked Iran, and the U.S. still bombed on behalf of Israel. Your father's frustrations with Netanyahu have been made clear when he cursed on national TV over the situation. Israel has not been a great ally to the U.S. all the way since 1960 when they bombed the USS Liberty. Israel is a nation where Christians are constantly under attack in both Gaza and the West Bank.
Correct.
We talk about America first and defending Christians, but how can we do this if we align ourselves with a nation that does not do that itself?
Correct.
There's no question my father said frustration. In fact, I think he said frustration throughout the whole conflict with both sides. At the same time,
in response to the nukes from Iran, Israel has nuclear weapons and is not a part of the IAEA, unlike Iran. And it's just sad to see, because I've never seen the American president get treated the way he does by the Israeli government.
He gets fucking punked. He gets treated like a little bottom bitch, dude. He's a little bottom bitch, dude. That's how he gets treated. And it's sad to watch. I mean, it's pretty wild. He's getting nuked, dude. It's a little bottom bitch, man. That's what he is, dude. We all know it. We all see it. You know? It's the truth. It's the truth, man. Like, he just gets, like, he throws a tantrum. I'm not going to let him do this. And then BB goes, fuck you. Watch this, bro. Suck my fucking dick. And he goes, oh, okay, I will. Please, sir, can I have another? Please, sir, can I have another? That's him, dude. He's just getting straight throated by BB, dude. He's getting mouth fucked. It's unreal. It's unreal, dude. And like, whatever, I guess. I mean, it's out in the open. Like, we watch it, you know? It's like Netanyahu's just got Cheeto dust just all over his fucking dick and pubes. It's fucking crazy, dude. It's just, I don't know how we got here, man. I have no idea how we got here, but we're here. So, all right, we made it through the... Fuck, dude. We made it through the show. Now we got to hit the rest of the super chats. So stick with us if you want to go through the super chats. But that was a fun one, huh? These are always fun. Tuesdays are fun. We just get to come in here and bitch and whine and moan about how much everybody sucks. So everybody in politics sucks. That's what our channel is. Just come in here and whine. I'm like Ben Shapiro, just bitching and moaning. All right, let's move through the super chats. All right, and wrap this up. I got JD in chat, right? Is JD still in here? I've been seeing him. All right, here we go. Let's get into it. Then I got to eat dinner. All right, found your channel from Aaron. Says I found your channel a couple months ago and instantly loved it with the fake alpha male content. Yeah, that's the backup channel, bro. That's the second channel. We haven't put a whole lot of content over there. Just I fucking don't have time. We'll get back to it. Thank you. Whatever our community name is, we need shirts. We got Munchkin shirts, but we don't have a community name yet. Wood chipper in the house. Yeah, JD's in here somewhere. Obama met veterans on honor flights in D.C. today and thanked them for their service. Trump, not a peep about vets. Yeah, and you know what? I just saw Obama got a standing ovation at a basketball game, I believe it was, on the same day that Trump got booed by an entire stadium. Rough to watch. What are the chances made of seeing your weapons vault and your favorite setup? I mean, I got some of them back here, man. Can't see them. I'm not supposed to show. Got a couple 30-06s, AR-15 stuff back there. I could probably do something like that eventually. They're all over the house. I'll tell you that. They're all over the house. All right. Muslims believe in Jesus as a prophet and Messiah. As a prophet, yes. There are millions of Christians in the Middle East, and they are fine. Most are good people, except for ISIS. Let me tell you a little story, guys. Can I tell you a little story? Look, Islamic terrorism is a huge problem around the world. It is. It's also created by us. So there's that. I didn't know anything about Islam when I was in Afghanistan working with, all my partners were Islamic. And my interpreter, his name was Isa. Great dude. He's in America now. We were able to get him out. And I remember I was talking to him one day on the flight line, I believe before we were going out on a mission. And I asked him, what does Isa mean? Because he was one of the only guys named Isa, right? There's a lot of Muhammads, obviously. And I go, what's Isa mean? And he looked at me, he goes, Jesus, bro. And I was so shocked when he told me that. I was fucking shocked, and I go, whoa, wait. And I was like, you're Muslim though, right? You all Islamic faith, and he was like, yeah. And he looked at me like I was an idiot, and and he was like, dude, he's like, Jesus is one of the most revered figures in our religion, right? And I was taken back. I figured they must hate Jesus, right? He goes, yeah, man, he's one of our most precious prophets in our religion. And I was, what? It was one of those moments where you stop and almost your whole worldview, it's like an epiphany, almost your whole worldview changes in that moment. And you realize you were fed this narrative for your entire young adult life of how all Muslims hate America, and they hate Christ, and they hate Christians. And then you're talking, and this is an interpreter who is right next to me on missions, like risking his fucking life to keep me alive night after night after night, named after Jesus. And at that moment I went, oh fuck, man, I don't know anything about this. And sometimes that's part of the problem, is we don't know what the rest of the world really thinks because we're brainwashed by what our culture tells us. And so that was a big eye-opening moment for me. And that's why I don't have any ill will towards Muslims or anybody in the Islamic faith whatsoever. You know what I mean? I think there's problematic people in all religions. Islamic terrorism is a huge problem. Islamic extremism is a really big problem, especially in the northern horn of Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, places in the Middle East. But I mean, you learn like, oh shit, the religion itself doesn't actually hate Christ. Unlike the other Abrahamic religion, which literally hates Christ, literally believes Christ is burning in his own shit and excrement in hell. They literally believe that. Start learning things like that, and you start going, whoa, Judeo-Christian doesn't sound so great anymore, right? But anyway, I mean, that's one of those things where it's like, I was ignorant. Then I started educating myself about it and went, oh, there you go. So to your point, yeah, I don't subscribe. You guys know I don't subscribe to the Islamophobic fucking tropes here in America at all. I don't think that Islamic extremism is anywhere near the top 10 of our fucking problems in America. It is in some places in the world. Here, maybe Dearborn, Michigan. That's probably an issue. I don't necessarily think that it's compatible with Western culture at all. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, I don't have a problem with their culture in their side of the world doing what they want to do, man. I learned a lot when I was, and again, people can talk shit about that, but guess what? I deployed there. I lived there. I interacted and lived with those people. So that's where my perspective comes from, is not from what people told me on TV, but from what I experienced firsthand living with the people there. So take that for what you will. All right. Trump, in comparison, made Nixon look like a Dem. Yeah, well, from the corruption side of things, Nixon basically did nothing comparatively. Once you see the problem is, everything else makes sense. Yeah. Zionists and the VAR agreement. JFK and Charlie both got taken by a 30-06. No, that was Martin Luther King that got taken by a 30-06, brother. We haven't confirmed it, though. For either of them, it turns out. When we have Dave Smith on, bro, I do want to have Dave Smith on. I should reach out to Ian. I know he's friends with him. Would you guys like me to have Dave on? I'm sure. I bet I could get a hold of him and probably have him on the channel. I'll try to work that one if you guys would like to see that one. All right. Trump's 25 minutes to lay the wreath was not about vets. It was just about Trump bragging about Trump. That's all he does. Enemy within. Yeah. He also, like, what do you mean about the vets? He fucking brought in Al-Jilani into the White House the day before, on the Marine 250th birthday and the day before fucking Veterans Day. He slapped all of us in the face. He spit in our fucking faces. He literally, Trump spit in every goddamn global war on terror veteran's face. We're all pissed. And all the group chats, all the global war on terrorists, even the ones that support Trump, fucking furious about that. Furious. Such a slap in the face, dude. I'm so shocked that he fucking did that. Although, what even shocks us at this point? Some of these things. Family of Secrets also vindicates Nixon. Militia Wangs. We can't do Wangs, I'm telling you. I think Nick just went live, by the way. So if you guys need to head over there and watch that on, also drop him. If you drop Nick some super chats and tell him fucking, hey, you need to collab with Valhalla VFT. See what he says. I need to get a hold of him somehow. I would love to have him on the channel. I'll platform him. I'm not a fucking pussy like other people. Nah, Munchkin Militia. I'm reading chat. Mods agree. Nate, happy Veterans Day. Can we just go back to 2011 and spin some tracks at the Rock? Oh my God. Is this Marshall? Oh, bro. JD. And is JD? JD's in here. Marshall's in here. Spin some tracks at the Rock in the good old days in the DJ booth. So Marshall's friends with me and JD from back in our days. I know exactly who this is immediately. I need to hit you up on fucking Facebook, bro. Good to see you, man. Good to hear from you. Yes, if we could go back to that. We could go back to that, Marshall. Man, the good old days. Simpler times, brother. Him Kardashian had the apron, but got carded. You weren't right about Rob O'Neill or Shrek. I haven't said anything about Rob. Also, dipshit, I was right about Shrek. I've seen so many fucking dumb fucks be like, he fabricated the documents. He fabricated the documents. You think I would fabricate documents of something that extreme? I would have gotten sued into oblivion immediately. You stupid fuck. Holy shit. I worked with a fucking attorney general on that. You stupid fuck. Oh my God. It blows me away how fucking stupid people are, including Bird here. Wow. All right. Keep it moving. All right. Tardio debates. Others on his channel used canned answers to try to throw people off balance. After practice, the canned answers get easier. I mean, he didn't answer a lot of my questions, unfortunately. Erica Vance. JD comes in with the heater. Erica Vance 2028. Yeah, we might see that. You're gonna get sued. Yeah, for defamation. Problem is you can't sue somebody for telling the truth, dude. I literally provided documents provided from USASOC and Army HRC. They gave me them. God, fuck, people are dumb. I showed them. What? Oh. Okay, keep it moving. Nate's being antiseptic again. JD said to SC, so you pee your pants. Wood chipper. Loving the channel and definitely pumped. I got an AF hoodie before they sold out. Thank you for your service, brother. Thank you very much. With all due respect, you presented influencer shorts as a fact. What shorts? I'm not saying they're wrong, but they're not credible sources. Didn't present any of their shorts. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? I didn't respect any but influencer shorts. I put up quotes from Israeli government officials, which are relevant. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Another fucking retard in the chat. All right, keep it moving. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you, Allison. Good to see you here. Good to see you here. Munchkin Chipper. That's a good one. Munchkin Chipper. JD's in here. Oh, wow. Wow, JD. Thanks for that. Didn't like Tucker until after he left Fox, and I watched his interview with Sean Ryan. Actually, I've started to like Tucker more since he left Fox as well. For sure. No, they're fun. They're fun to talk shit to, dude. They're fun to talk shit to. Let's see. Yeb Hamath 11B Talmud states small hats. Yes, I know it does state that. Pretty gross. Pretty gross. No. Not even the same religion whatsoever. Not even the same religion whatsoever. Got to remember, Trump's kids watched people try to kill their father, so they're going to be evasive regarding our ally. Kind of a good point, actually. Kind of a very good point. Might be a little bit scared. Hi from Ukraine. Stolen valor is in the U.S. is dramatic. By the way, you can't even imagine stolen valor here. When will be the perfect time to deal with it in Ukraine? Oh, and stolen valor, that's a good one, man. For what you guys are going to deal it on the backside of the war, right? With the war still going on, it's going to be one of those things. Once it ends in like years in the future, you're going to have probably a lot of issues with that, I would imagine. That's an interesting point. I didn't think about that. That probably is going on in Ukraine. Wonder why Bibi doesn't let the files out. I don't know. Netanyahu says jump. He says how high. We got there through the Balfour Declaration in 1917, but who leaned on Balfour and why? From Leon. From Australia. Tim, no comment. Thank you. Yes to America. Yes to Christ. I like that. Jesus is the way. He's what bridges the gap between. He doesn't bridge the gap. He does not bridge the gap. I hate this. This is not a sequence of events. Okay? He replaces. He replaces. It is not a linear, it's not this linear thing that we like to say, like, oh, there's Judaism and then Christ shows up and it's all like one nice Judeo-Christian linear. No, he replaces. The New Testament is not a continuation of the Old Testament. It replaces the Old Testament. Okay? Trained to hunt submarines, I can tell you, that's Schofield Bible shit, right? Anyway, I can tell you two things for certain. The plutocracy isn't working for, what's pluto? I don't know what that word means. That's bigger than me. Plutocracy isn't working for 99% of us. 2, every increase 3 decibels is 100% increase in volume. I may be drinking. Somebody give me a plutocracy. Hit me with it. Thank you for your service, Nate. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Hope this isn't personal, but do you regret going into combat Afghanistan knowing you have been lied? No, I don't regret anything I've done, man. Like, my life is my life. I did what I did, and you know, am I proud about some of the things we did? No, but I don't regret any of it. It's made me who I am today, man. You can't regret your past with stuff like that. It is what it is. Oh, this is a good one. Neither. I use Sustanon. A little bit of everything. Sustanon is my go-to for TRT. Left to center and loving the content you put out. Gross to see how our leaders are caving. Hope we can get right ship before it sinks. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you being here, even if you're left of center. Bob Bitchin says, what would the founders say about us giving up our freedom of speech? They would be horrified. They'd be horrified with a lot of things, especially the tax rate. The REIT of our rights will be taken away if we do nothing. Declaration of Independence is a list of what's going on. We all need to stand as one. I agree, and this is why I defend anybody, even people on the left, when there's calls for censoring someone like Destiny or Hassan, even though Hassan probably should be canceled for abusing his dog on stream, so fuck that guy. But like outside of that, just for pure speech, I'm going to defend you, even if I hate what you say and I think it's disgusting. We cannot allow any infringement into our constitutional rights, in my opinion. So, lived there for 4 years altogether. Western civilization and Christ are far superior. I mean, that's what we think here, right? We think our values are superior. They think their values are superior. Subjective. I will say, although, I don't know, you can look at places like Dubai, and that becomes not true pretty quickly. Dubai is nicer than anywhere in America, like objectively. So, but, you know, just picking and choosing, right? HVD Nate, fellow GWAT vet here. What's up, brother? Appreciate you. Trump for the wood chipper. Jesus. Tardio was a discredit to his side, no logic to static. Well done. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate you, brother. I would take Hunter Biden peak crack addiction over Trump. Well, you might get it because Hunter Biden might be running for president. It might be coming. What is the best state to live in for white birth rate? I don't know. I don't know what you mean by that. Sorry. Probably Arkansas. I don't know. Replaces my bad. Still, Christ is king. There you go. Yes. Agreed. Who leaned on Balfour? Check out Zimmerman Note Story. UK did Balfour And thanks for the message that got USA in World War I. Long but interesting story. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff that got us into World War I. The Federal Reserve just conveniently being started right before World War I and all those different things, right? Funny how that works. It's all smoke and mirrors. Everything's fake and gay. Even back in history. Differences aside, happy Veterans Day, man, from one vet to the rest. Thank you, brothers and sisters who serve. Thank you, brother, and happy Veterans Day to you and all the other veterans in the chat. How do I feel about the Mark 19? I mean, it's great on a vehicle, but we didn't really use it that often. And I didn't do any vehicle-based stuff. Actually, I did all helo-based stuff, so we obviously weren't carrying Mark 19s around. Plutocracy is government by the wealthy. Oh, well, I mean, that's what we're in. I call it socialist oligarchies, but I guess it's probably the same thing, right? We're not those of you who didn't know, we're not a capitalist society. We are a socialist oligarchy, which means socialism for the corporations, which means all the money gets funneled to them and they don't pay any taxes while you still pay 40% of your fucking taxes, right? So we're a socialist oligarchy at the end of the day. We're not capitalism whatsoever. That's fucking completely. China has more capitalist economy than we do. Objectively, that's objectively true. They have a lower tax rate than we do. It's funny how capitalism. It's like, yeah, but we don't have a capitalist economy. So I'd like us to, but we don't. How do you feel about race mixing? My wife is Japanese and I have a son that's quarter black. So I don't agree with Nick Fuentes on that take, obviously, at all. I have no issues with it whatsoever. There you go. Does that work for you? That would be one of those big pushbacks I have on some of those views. No issues whatsoever. Only read KJV, don't pay attention to the other religions, to be honest. Sorry, chat. Dubai ain't exactly theirs. UK meets Arab oil money. Fusion of worlds. Yeah. It's kind of a stretch with the UK stuff. But for the oil money, that's 100% true. But they got oil money everywhere, though, right? Qatar, Kuwait. Well, I mean, even anywhere, even places like Norway are usually the nicest places in the world. If you have a tiny population and a shit ton of oil, usually works out pretty well. So fair to your point there, Tim. Thanks to all our veterans and their service to the great country. Nate, I'm loving your podcast. Happy Alex Jones introduced you to us. Hell, Uncle Alex. Yeah, dude. Alex is the man, huh? Thanks. You are one of the best. I appreciate you, Marty. Thank you. Do you think the M320 is a downgrade to the M203? No, I don't, dude. I carried a 320 as my sidearm for a lot of missions, actually. I love the 320, man. I think it's a massive upgrade. I don't want to carry that big ass bastard on fucking the front of my rifle. I carried it right there on my my quad with a drop down holster. Carried a belt of grenades with it. Love the 320, man. Big fan. Way more than the 203 personally. All right, the Asian dude's shorts. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just trying to say, as far as the debate goes, using shorts as a fact. Asian dude shorts. What are you talking about? Everything he said in there is true. You can look up the fucking PowerPoint. Trying to say it's not true because somebody put it out in an Instagram reel when he provided the fucking documents in the fucking video. Bro. You make me turn into Nick Fuentes and just talk fucking shit to my super chats, and I don't want to do that. Don't do that to me. All right, would you have Myron Gaines on? Yeah, of course. Why not? Myron's another Fed just like me, dude. We're both ex-Feds, so why not? All right. Happy Veterans Day, Nate. My family and I donate spare clothes and appliances to charities for vets in need. It blows my mind how much the VA needs reform. God bless. Well, good for you, brother. I love to hear stuff like that. And yes, the VA needs a lot of work, man. I don't even use the VA. I pay for my own private health care for me and my family. And, you know, that's a privilege I have. I told a story the other day about waiting like 7 months to get a pain management procedure on my back that I needed. And after that, I said, fuck this, dude. I can't, man. So, and sadly, a lot of veterans don't have a choice, right? So they just have to deal with it. And yeah, the VA needs a rehaul for sure. it needs a huge rehaul. People say that it got fixed. It didn't get fixed at all. It's good for prescriptions, right? Like you have your regular prescriptions that are coming in, stuff like that. But if you need like real care, surgeries, pain management, it's awful. I do love the Mark 48. Mark 48 is one of my favorite weapon systems, if not my absolute favorite weapon system. Yes, sir. You maybe watch some interviews I've done with some of my teammates, if you know that one. I'm like DeLay. I'll accept when I'm wrong and calmly stand my ground when I'm right. There you go. All right. We did it. We made it through the super chats. We made it through the full live 3.5 hours. Pretty good one. Actually, it was a very good one on this fantastic Veterans Day. Thank you to Aaron for showing up. Sadly, he had to. Aaron has a brand new baby, and he's like 40. 40 something. He's got a toddler. He's got a brand new baby, and that's what he had to jet for. He's also got like a 21-year-old and a 20-year-old. That's just like one of those wild things. Like, it's not like he has like a 20-year-old, a 13-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a toddler. He has like an 18-year-old break between 3 kids and 2 new kids. I couldn't do it, man. That's insane. But yeah, so thank you all. Happy Veterans Day to everybody in the chat. Thank you to Jasmine as well, as always, for showing up and keeping everybody in control in here. Final super chat, and then we're going to jet out of here with how fast Islam is speeding. It will be tampered and made mainstream by Westerners the same way Romans brought Christianity through content. Yeah, maybe. It's not really spreading that fast through. Well, it is in Europe. Europe's got a big fucking problem with that right now, but not really in America yet. But who knows? That could be a problem. That could be a problem, that we see in the future, right? When it comes to the West, I don't think it's that compatible with West values. So it is what it is. All right. That's going to do it, everybody. I got to go eat some dinner. We will be back Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific for our live stream with JD Delay, Jesse on Fire. Hopefully we got a special guest. We'll see if he makes it. Friday, I believe, our regular Friday live. I'll try to get a cool guest on if I can. We'll be at 3 p.m. Okay, it's not going to be the regular 5 p.m. time for everybody. 3 p.m. because my son, as you know, if you follow the channel, is in the state playoffs for football right now, and they are playing the #1 team in state. And so we got to go out of town for it. So we're going to have 3 p.m. Friday. It's going to be 2 hours early. So we will see y'all then. Have a good night, everybody. Head on over. I believe our little nephew, Nick Fuentes, just started his stream. Send him a super chat. Send a couple over there. Tell him, hey, fucking collab with Valhalla VFT. He probably doesn't even know who I am, and he might just be like, what the fuck is this? If you get him 2 or 3 of them, he might be like, I'm gonna look this guy up. All right, so that'll do it. Thank y'all. I will catch y'all in the next video.